Hey, hello. How is everyone doing tonight? I hope you're doing okay, Mojo. Good to see you again. Good to see you, Danny. Good to see you. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. Denise, you agree? Hey, Denise. Danny, yes. You agree that Christianity is a scam? One of the biggest scams ever sold. Just how? How did I once? Well, I had no choice. In my own case, I had no choice. I was just, I was born into it. So there just was no choice at all. And I'm sure for some of you, it's the same thing. We had no choice. Huh? It sounds this sound is a little fuzzy. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me have a quick look. Ah, that's why. Okay, how is the sound now? It should be a lot better now. I wasn't properly plugged in. So how is it now? Does it sound better? Does it sound better? How's everyone doing tonight? I hope you're doing okay. I hope you are all doing well. So I thought, okay, let's come and chop it up. What is Christianity? And I'm convinced that Christianity is a scam. Completely convinced. Unless somebody can prove me otherwise. Unless somebody can prove me otherwise that Christianity isn't a scam. I'm convinced that it is. There's just no for me at least. So yes, if anyone has a different opinion, honestly, I would love to hear about it. I would love to hear about if you think that Christianity isn't a scam, then yes, bring it on. Let's hear all about what you think, right? The idea that that someone died for my sins, it is laughable. Laughable because I didn't ask for anyone to die for my sins. I didn't ask nobody to die for my sins. Just how did I once believe this thing called Christianity? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. How did I do it? I don't know. Right, so let's see here. Hey, Captive Desk. Hello, good to see you. Danny says, why did they call God? Why did they call God? They call God is obviously an it. I praise its It's an it. But no, here in the UK, God's gender is changing soon, right? God will no longer be called the he. He will now be called they, them, it. I don't know what. Yeah, but it's going to have to change soon because he has to move with the times. The God of the Bible has to move with the times. You see, he's stuck in the past. Mm-mm. So yes, white Jesus is a scam. Black Jesus is a scam too. Hey, Dean Kruger, Mojo, you have a different opinion? Okay, if you would like to come up and talk about it, guys, very relaxed tonight. Tonight is there's nothing on the agenda. I would just like a conversation. If anyone would like to join in, especially if anyone thinks that okay, no, you cannot tell me that Christianity is not a scam, then yes, I would like to hear it. So I'm going to put the link here if anybody would like to join. If you'd like to join, then yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. I've always wondered why my family was so prone to and MLMs. What is it with Christians and MLMs? What is it with Christians and MLMs? Now you totally understand it. What is it with Christians and MLMs? Hmm? I think people really believe in it, but they add extra stuff to it. Okay. But then does that not prove our point that if Christianity was true, how is God watching people add extra stuff to it? How is God able to watch people add and subtract stuff to his book? It makes no sense. So if this God truly exists, how is he just watching these things happen? Huh? White Jesus is a scam. Of course he is. He that white Jesus just give me 1 second. So let's do something quickly. Let's go and have a look at what is Christianity? What is it? Right, let me do this share screen. Letting others letting other people tell them what to do. Hmm. Yeah. Because it's supposed to be unchanging, yes. But no, in this case, he changes. It changes from time to time. That's what he does. That's one of the characteristics of God. He changes. Never mind that he says, "Oh, I don't change," but he does change. Yes, he does change from time to time. Right, let's have a look here at what is Christianity.
What is Christianity? The central tenet of Christianity is the belief in Jesus as the Son of God and Savior of humanity. But from what does humanity need saving? To answer that, we go back to the beginning. Christianity
Savior of
teaches that there is
humanity.
only one God, and that in the beginning, this God spoke the entire universe into existence. On earth, God creates two people, a man and a woman, named Adam and Eve. They are to tend the garden in which they live, and they are free to eat from any tree except the tree of...
Okay, already we can already decide here that this is a scam. It's already from the very beginning. So this God, created Adam and Eve. Okay, so who is there watching these events? Who is the witness to these events? Who is the person witnessing Adam and Eve being created by God? How did God create them? Right? Oh, he breathed his into I don't know, whatever he did to form Adam. But hang on a second. Who was there to witness these events? Moses wasn't born. Moses wasn't here. So someone is lying about this story. This is nothing but fiction. This is fiction. It didn't happen. The sooner we realize this, the better. Hey, Soren, I see you. Let's see. Beach, hey Beach, good to see you too. Gosh, is what you say when you don't want to say heck. Okay, all right, okay. So he breathed on the dust. Gosh. Okay, captive desk, can you please tell me who is the person that witnessed God breathing on the dust of the earth? I beg you, please. If you cannot produce that person, then Christianity already starts off with a lie. The lie starts from chapter 1 of the book. No, seriously, who is this person? I listen. No, nobody should come and tell me it was Moses. Please don't do it. Just don't. Moses wasn't born. Moses wasn't there. So, oh, Moses was inspired. All right. Moses was inspired. Okay. So, how do we test what is inspired by God and what isn't inspired by God? How do we test this? Hmm? Yeah, Denise, who was there to witness it? The burning shrub. Soren, Soren, just listen to this. Just so God, right, came down and hid himself inside a bush. Now think about it. The one that creates universe, he created the universe, created the stars, the moon, the sun, the mountains. Look at him now, hiding inside a bush. To talk to Moses. Hmm? Hiding in it because he says nobody sees God and lives. So he has to hide himself. Gosh. Hmm? Now you have says I have a problem with God breathing. I have a problem with God breathing. Ah, Beach. You are onto something. If God can breathe, that means he's got a respiratory system. So I thought God was spirit. So I don't know. How do spirits breathe? Okay, Beach. You are onto something there. How is God breathing? How is this deity breathing? Huh? That's the question we need to ask. Ah, my parents would say that whomever wrote it had this. Whoever wrote it had the spirit. You see, unfortunately, this is the lie we were made to believe. We were lied to about the book. We were told tales that didn't. It's laughable. When I think about it now, it's just laughable. The same person that witnessed Jesus alone in the desert. It was nobody. It was nobody. Mr. Nobody seems to have a very big role in the Bible. Mr. Nobody is so prominent in the Bible. He is everywhere in that Bible. Just he shows up in all the most important stories. I think it's literal. What is literal? Does God have a body and he breathes? Yes, he listen, there are many attributes of God. He impregnates young girls as well. Don't ever forget that. He breathes, he impregnates, he dies. Well, he died yesterday. Was it yesterday? Was to have died? Yeah, it was yesterday. It was Good Friday. It was his death day yesterday. So right now, Jesus now he's in he's in hell, going to get keys from hell. You see? He's made his way now to I can just imagine him in hell. He just burst open the doors. Huh. Look at me. Hand over those keys now, devil. Give it to me. Daddy wants the keys. Give it to me now. But then, I don't know, he's in hell for 3 days. So maybe he has to, I guess because it's so hot, he has to take his time and maybe have a drink, cool down. I don't know. Yeah, he has to take a chill pill while he's in hell. Mm-hmm. Daddy wants the keys. Yeah, of course. And the Lord with cometh upon me. Um, why is he coming upon me? Can he keep his calm to himself, please? No, I don't want nobody coming upon me. I'm good without God's calm. He can keep that to himself. No thanks. Jeez. Okay, right. Let's see. What is Christianity?
Of knowledge of good and evil. Sometime later, Eve is tempted by Satan and eats from this tree. Then Adam eats from it too. It's at this point that the two become aware and understand good and evil, evidenced by a new shame of their
They
nakedness.
understand.
Disobeying God results in them being expelled from the Garden of Eden and suffering the effect of death.
Okay, let me take that back so you can listen to this. So, this almighty tree, a tree that caused all the problem, guess who put it there? Guess who is the gardener that planted the tree of destruction? The same character, God. He's the one that did this, planted it there. So, but prior to eating of the fruits of this tree, they had no knowledge of good and evil. So they had no idea that what they were doing was wrong. But from the moment they ate it, they were made aware, oh, what we did was wrong. A good father, anyway, I'm going a bit too ahead of myself.
Then Adam eats from it too. It's at this point that the two become aware and understand good and evil, evidenced by a new shame of their nakedness. Disobeying God results in them being expelled from the Garden of Eden and suffering the effect of death. Many generations after.
Okay, I don't understand how they're ashamed to be naked when it's just two of them. There's just two of them. So why are they ashamed to be naked when they're still going to get naked with each other when they go ahead to multiply? I thought God wanted these people to multiply. So wait, when they're multiplying, are they not naked? They're naked, right? So why are they ashamed now that there's only two of them? So I don't know how. No, no, no. Hmm. They did pretty good for making up a story about how people became a people with exactly. Eh, if they didn't understand good and evil before that, how did they sin? That's a good question. How did they sin? I honestly don't know. And even if, Janice, even if they did sin, even if they did sin, what was so hard in God just pardoning, pardoning that sin at that point? Do you know how much disaster, how much trouble and pain and suffering would have been prevented from that point? Do you know? You know how many deaths would have been uh, uh, prevented just from that? And then the same God tells us we must forgive 70 by 70 times. A hypocrite, in it? That's a bloody hypocrite. He couldn't forgive Satan, kicked him out of the heavens. Now Adam and Eve just one, I can't even call it an offense. It wasn't an offense. All they did was eat a fruit. Okay, they ate a fruit. So, come on. Worst case scenario is what? They get food poisoning. Hey, Nidhi, I've put the link there if anybody would like. Today's just very chilled. Nothing, I have nothing on the agenda. Just thought I'll come on. I haven't been here for a while because I've been on the TikTok. I'm trying to see how I can stream to both places. It's very different platforms. My goodness, very different platforms. I'm trying to figure it out anyway. But in the meantime, yeah, because YouTube has been very funny lately. Um, I don't know. I'm going to try and reapply for the monetization. They took my monetization away. Not that I was, making anything at all, hardly anything. So I just decided, okay, you know what? Let me branch off and see, so I don't just put myself all in one box, you know. But anyway, we'll see. I think in a few days I'll have to reapply for monetization. But we'll see. We'll see how we get on. We'll see. God asks, who told you that you were naked? Like, oh, all right, okay, Beach. Okay, let me take that back. God was there. Sorry. Okay, now I see why they were ashamed. Because God was there watching them. All right, now I see. And the snake also was watching. Okay, I take that back, guys. Now I understand why they were naked after eating the fruit. Gosh. Okay, all right, Soren. Absolutely fine. I listen, absolutely fine. But Soren, do you like the idea of I tried, so when I'm on TikTok, like I can stream it on here as well. Did you like that idea? If you liked it, then I will continue. I just wanted to have a feel what you guys think. So when I'm over there, I can stream it on here as well. So if you like the because let me tell you, gosh, I've had some very crazy, crazy conversations with people on oh my God. Had some very crazy conversations with people over on TikTok. Let me tell you. Do you know? Hey, Niji,
Yeah.
good to have you here.
Mhm.
Hey, so a few days ago, a lady came up to have a conversation with me, and do you know what she said? She said, "Our forefathers deserved to be taken as slaves. They deserved the slavery that happened to them because they were not serving God properly and not reading the Bible. They were not reading the right Bible. Sorry, they were not serving God
Oh
with
my
reading the
gosh.
Bible." I would upload it on here. Oh my goodness, I was just oh I had to kick her out because she was insisting that yes, these forefathers they did
Oh my goodness. That is just such a
painful.
stunning ignorance of history that there are no words. Like how what Bible? Like seriously, like most of the people
Niji.
captured and chained and brought overseas couldn't even read the languages that the Bible was available and written in at the time that they were taken. I mean, wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. I would have just been shaking my phone like, what is wrong with you?
Hey Phil.
Oh,
Hi. Oh, yes.
Hey,
Hi,
Phil,
Nidhi.
Phil.
hey, Phil.
What's
Ah,
up?
so today's just very chilled. We're just talking about
Yeah.
Christianity. Because this is
Mm-hmm.
so right now, Jesus died yesterday.
Oh, yeah. According to their fable. According to the fable.
So right now he's still dead,
Oh,
right?
don't forget there's some Christians that think that Jesus died the Thursday instead of the Friday. Mm. You know
They
there's
fight about that
contention.
too.
Yeah, they fight about that.
Okay, so but because today is Saturday, he's still dead. We can agree he's still dead, right?
So dead.
Yeah.
He
So
would have
dead.
still been dead. So and then
Yeah.
the story is that he went into hell to go and get some keys,
Some keys. Yeah.
right?
I wonder what sort of keys.
He needed a tile app to get those keys back. But like, where are they at?
So but hang on. How did the devil get the keys to begin with?
Right, who did he get?
Yeah.
God wasn't looking. He's like our kids getting a cookie. Like,
Oh,
keys.
I know. I got it. I got it. You know, Satan, when he was purported, Lucifer purported to have risen against God, right? Lucifer say, yeah, all right, I can sneak in, take the keys with me. Got cast down, had the keys with him. And I don't know how God can try and get those back every since. But he had to wait for his own son to die to create a sacrifice, blood sacrifice to get back keys. What? Oh my gosh. Oh, what a fable.
Hey, Steve McRae, manager. I miss you. Where have you been, Steve McRae? Steve McRae, manager. He was well, still is king of the chat. So everyone
Oh.
behave yourselves. The king of the chat is here.
Totally fine.
So yeah, someone was asking who's the new guy. Didi, this is
It's
It's
Niddy.
just been a long time since I've been on your channel. That's all.
yes, yes. But
And I
Nidi, you
think the
want to
last time I was,
tell the folks a little bit about yourself because
Stuff, yeah.
the question is who's the new guy?
yeah. So
Is the new old guy?
yes, I make frequent appearances on different, well, maybe infrequent as of late, but appearances on different live channels. I'm a deconvert from non-denominational culty Christianity, and I discovered Esther's channel through the algorithm. And because I was subscribed to different people debunking like woo and faked miracles and things like that, and her content on the debunking and analysis of miracles in the African churches
Mm,
really intrigued me, and I just stuck with watching it, and I love it. And so I run my own channel. I talk about my experience coming out of culty Christianity, and just recently I did a review of Frank Turek's 3-minute Gish Gallop and fire hose of apologetics. So it took a half hour to debunk. But hey, that's how that goes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Nidhi, and let me see. We need to try and put the link to Nidhi's channel
I can
in
get
the
that.
Yeah.
chat. Okay, but then I would have to. I don't think you're not a moderator, so you won't be able
That's
to.
okay. I'll just put it in the chat.
I can.
Thank you, guys. You guys are great. And of course, James Apperson and I hang out too, and he's great.
Oh yeah.
He loves this channel and loves you, Esther and Phil, and so
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, and every once in a while I'll have open discussions after I review content. So if you're bored and you see that I'm going, just come on over and we can hang out.
Okay, that would be.
Oh yeah. I've got it.
So Christianity's a scam, huh? Is that what started this today?
Oh yeah, Christianity. Especially when you look in the African continent and even around the world, you realize that a lot of persons get scammed, especially by Christianity.
Yes.
Even
Yes.
even if you look in the history, if you look at how the Roman Catholic Church used, even at they were the ones who established Christianity initially. And remember, at one point they had this thing where people had to pay, but it was not penance, to try to get their dead out of purgatory, and that was a big business for the Roman Catholic Church. So
well, I think it was indulgences, right?
Indulgences, right? Indulgences.
I had to take a history of Christianity class in college, so I have somehow retained that information.
Oh yeah. I keep telling I tell Christians, do look at church history, because if you look at church history, a lot is going to change a lot of their minds towards especially Christianity. And I am not talking about the evangelical fable of church history, because they have a fable about church history, and they cover it up. Even with the how the Bible was produced, they cover all of that up. They come with this thing, oh, God was guiding these men to put together the Bible and the books and so on. That's how we know it's the word of God too. Blah, 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 blah. That story. But when you actually go to the actual scholars and you look at how the Bible is put together, you realize this definitely is man-made, and there's no good God that did this thing, And that's one of the things that brought me out of Christianity, brought me out my conversion to atheism too, examining church history. And it's horrific, very horrific. Both mind you, both the Roman Catholic and the Protestant church history is horrific. Both of them. Yeah.
So I've put Nidhi's link in the chat, right? So guys, please make sure to follow that link and subscribe to Nidhi. Nidhi talks. I especially like your story of how you came out of the cult, right?
Yeah.
What was the name of the establishment you came out of?
It used to be called Xenos Christian Fellowship, XENOS. Now they've rebranded in 2020 to Dwell Community Church. Partly because the Google search results were getting so terrible. There's a site called xenosisaccult.com. You can go there and check that out. Or there's also leavingdwell.org That's run by some people that I'm connected to personally in
Mhm.
real life. For people who've left this organization. And so they're Dwell Community Church. They're based out of Columbus, Ohio, because that's where I'm from. And I make no mystery about that. I just, if I'm going to name the church, I mean, it just comes, hey, now I'm at 300 subs. All right, that's fun. Now I have to schedule a 300 sub party. See how long it lasts. Sometimes my subscribers can't handle when I talk about how much the Bible talks about penises and gender
Oh
and
yeah!
sex. And it's like,
Whoa! You know you're talking up my lines.
Why
Yeah.
would they like that? I
I
like
think it's the
that.
Christians that can't
I would
decide if
like
they
to
want to
hear
listen to
Yeah.
an
that.
atheist or
But
not.
Nidhi, you just hit the nail on the head, because really and truly things like bull, the euphemistic terms that are used in the
Oh
Bible,
yeah.
those represent the penis, the vulva, and actual Hebrew is just that the over the period of time that the Christians and the rabbis try to euphemize those terms that the Bible use. Because as I was pointing out to Esther, when it talked about I think it's in Isaiah where it talks about the cherubim and God's trail or something like that, and his feet and so on. All references, the cherubim wings or the cherubim were covered. It's kind of like because their penises could not match God's own,
Yeah, and
Oh
Isaiah
and
my
that's
says,
what the
goodness.
actual Hebrew is. That's what
Mhm.
it is. And I
Oh, I
learned
love
that
Wow.
from reading, listening to,
Francesca.
yeah, Francesca. Yeah,
Mhm.
I always get her.
Francesca
I get
Stroke.
top pronounce.
Stravlakapulu.
Can someone tell me what her surname is, please?
Stravlakapulu.
Stravakopulu.
Kapulu. Okay, all
That's
right.
the
I
best I
always
can do. And if it's still wrong, then we tried.
Okay.
tried. Yeah, yeah. So she has revealed a lot, because I heard that's her specialist area, looking at the origin of God in Hebrew, and how the Near Eastern beliefs influence that, and what the actual not the Bible history. Because Bible history is not Bible history. That's Bible fable history, right? That's a Bible fable history, but they bend it from archaeology and what they know from archaeology about the Hebrews, and how the Hebrew, the a lot of the terms are used in the Hebrew Bible, what they actually were before. Yeah, she does a very good job of showing that, and a lot of people don't know. But we know when you're talking about the Song of Solomon, that is very
Yeah.
explicit.
Ooh. So Soren has is kind enough to put it all in all caps. Let me see if I can do this. Stravakapolo. That's not too bad.
Strava
Stravakapolo.
Capulu.
Stravakapolo. That's not too, I love that woman. I do. And
Oh yeah.
great book. Just that
Yeah, God and
I'm yet to get
anatomy.
my own copy. Unless someone is
God
kind
and an
enough to
anatomy.
buy me a copy. I think I should put it on my wish
Hint,
list, you know.
hint, hint, hint,
Yes.
hint, hint.
Put it on my wish list. Yeah. Yes, B.
But
Just
yeah,
Francesca. Make life easy.
Francesca. Yeah, yeah,
Francesca.
yeah.
And you're good. Yes.
Oh yeah, and you know what too? Even with Dr. Josh, then you wrote the oh gosh, the Atheist handbook to the New Testament,
The
book
Old
Mm-hmm.
Testament.
one, and I think he has them book two. Yeah,
Yes.
but that
Yes.
reveals a lot too, because they're looking at it from the actual archaeological point of view, what archaeology actually says, not the pseudo biblical archaeology that some Christians claim that there are these biblical archaeologists, and try to force archaeology to fit their narrative. And when they meet these contradictions to their scriptures, they try to come up with these without apologetics. I came across that because of my from trying to learn about the Bible from their perspective, and then eventually realizing these people are trying to force, the reality to fit their narrative.
Yeah, they have a
And mind you,
conclusion in
Muslims do
mind,
it
and then
too. Muslims do it too.
They all do it. They all
They
do
do
it.
it. They
Okay,
start with a conclusion and then try to
yeah, that's
force.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
let's do a quick. Let's just finish this video. It's only about 2 minutes long about what
Mm-hmm.
Christianity is all about. What is Christianity? So let me finish this. Okay, so let's see here.
After Adam, God chooses a man named Abraham to make into a great nation, a nation that will one day birth a Messiah.
Okay, God chooses a man, Abraham, to make into a great nation. How is this making sense to anyone? How is
Oh,
God just picking
yeah.
somebody and said, "You, I make you a great"? I mean, what is this?
For what purpose
With
is
time,
favorite?
but no, but feel with time, the nations were going to be great anyway. You don't have to
Yeah.
pick one
Depends
person
on
and
what
say,
they
"Look,
do.
you."
Yeah.
I don't listen. I don't understand this. So there's going to be a great. The nation's going to be great nations, but you pick out one and say, "You, I'll make you a great nation." How is this making sense to anybody?
And great how? In what
How?
way?
When you're dead,
Because
I'll make you great when you're dead.
when you're dead. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, make America great again.
I'll make you great,
Let's make
but
America
only
great again.
I'll
Let's
make
make
you.
Christianity great again.
I'll make you
Yeah.
great, but
I
only
think
after you're dead.
so. Like, if we put it, uh, let's try and like steelman it, right? But
Yeah.
using like the actual ancient data, right? It's like greatness to the Genesis writer, and when Genesis was probably finished in compilation during or shortly after the Babylonian exile. So
Yeah.
greatness
Yeah.
is in terms of people, power, and land.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what they're aiming for is God's promising, I will make you full of people, full of
Mm-hmm.
land, and full of
Mm-hmm.
power.
You're
And
probably right.
when there's a lot less people on Earth and in your known world, all of that sounds
Mm-hmm.
really awesome, and it is
Oh
great.
yeah. Oh yeah. In that
but
context. Mm-hmm.
but that greatness is not analogous to the greatness that Christians want it to be,
Correct.
right? Or that
Mm-hmm.
the new covenant or whatever, or Christianity uh, reappropriates that greatness to mean heaven, a great nation, land, a new earth, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
our time and perspectives on the world changed since that initial promise was said to have been given, right? It was given in this
Yes.
myopic little bubble.
Bubble. Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
then the greater world was getting explored, and they're like, that's not good enough, right? Obviously there's empires, obviously, our God has to get greater than this. Well, how do we answer that? Oh, well, the Abraham promise is just a little type. It's just a little tidbit taste of the real plan God had all along. I sound like a theologian. What's wrong with me?
No. That's you have to steal, man.
Yeah.
We are not creating straw men unlike some people like to
But
create straw men.
I think that's what, like, my Christian self would have
Mm-hmm.
probably read the Abrahamic promise that exact
Yeah.
way. It's like,
Yeah.
this is some foreshadowing, foretaste
For
of
sure, yes.
the amazing, super duper promise, right, to the
Mm-hmm.
people who believe in Jesus. But
Just. Mm-hmm.
when I sit down and really think about, okay, what could the original authors have meant about this Abrahamic covenant or promise? Oh, wait, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a foretaste or a prefiguration of anything at all.
Thing correct.
So the promise does make sense, but it doesn't
Not in the
it doesn't make
Christian
sense when
context.
yeah, right. It doesn't make sense for us now when we are trying to use what we might mean by greatness, what
Mm-hmm.
we might mean by um, being chosen or something
Children.
like that,
Yeah.
right?
Because
Those things are
Christians was.
lost in us.
Mm-hmm. Because I think Christians will see it as having a fulfilled life, what they would consider a fulfilled life, having this
Maybe.
joy. Some I think I've seen Christians using that in that sense, or being blessed, because
Mm.
their concept of blessing is um, receiving these little things. Somebody come give them something, or they got protection from, uh, for example, tornado or some disaster. But mind you, a whole
Famine.
set of other people died, famine, yeah, and a whole set of their fellow people, their fellow brethren and sisterin died. But oh, I am blessed. I sometimes they use this, this thing in the sense of a blessing. Um, and so God bless Abraham this way we can receive. I've realized that if as it when I was a fundamentalist evangelical, that and even up to now, that Christians tend to use they try to use these passages to say, oh, God is speaking to us, giving us this wider
Mm-hmm.
generality, as you just said, that applies to us today. And so you hear preachers will come and preach about this, and just what I said, they will say the same thing. And anybody can do that, because it is like taking now and stretching a metaphor, or you know you can even use the Harry Potter book and say or books, and come up with something to say, oh yes, this shows that we can receive blessings this way, or evil will be suppressed. But it does not prove a God. It does not prove that
Yeah.
you're any
It's just,
blessing,
the
nothing like
Voldemort
that.
is a type of the evils and
Yeah.
opposition
Yeah.
that we face as God's
Face
chosen
our God's
potters.
chosen part. Yeah. Yeah, Henry. See,
I got
it
you.
can be easily done, right? And that's
Yeah.
how, and I realize that's how a lot of people get duped, because it sounds good. Sometimes I call it, but at one point when I was deconstructing, I was still a Christian, deconstructing, coming up with
Hmm.
fundamentalism. I used to call it, they have these super spiritual terms, and many use the word super spiritual. It sounds, oh, so uh like revelatory for them, this unknown revelation, this secret revelation. And people get carried away by that. And a lot of them, trust me, they don't know their Bible.
Hmm.
I knew that, because a lot of them just cherry pick passages, but to really understand, they don't want to go into like how we will have done, go to find out how the Bible's put together, um, who the historical, quote unquote, historical context, and then you realize that no, right? Despite First Peter 3:15 saying, "Be always ready to give a reason for the hope that is within you."
Hmm.
A lot of them don't
Oh,
follow that.
goodness.
They don't do that, right? They just go for the good feel,
Oh hell no,
and I
not
realize
on
that.
YouTube and TikTok. That's for damn sure. I bet Esther knows.
Yeah,
Oh
we know,
no.
we know, we know.
Oh,
Yeah,
Phil, listen,
yeah,
I
yeah,
hardly see Phil lose his cool, but
yeah.
on TikTok,
TikTok. Oh my gosh.
Phil
Especially
has
when they claim to be
become.
a scientist.
Oh my
Can you
god.
imagine someone telling us they were a scientist
Oh my
and
gosh, did he? To
they've
any
never been to date?
university, did
Oh,
any
that was
science.
crazy. That was absolutely
Oh my
crazy.
gosh. And Nidhi, when I hear people making those statements and coming trying to use science to debunk what we say, I get very peeved, because my degree is in science,
Oh
chemistry,
gosh.
biology, mathematics. And I get very peeved, because they pretend as if they're talking, oh, it sounds as if they're talking intelligent, and they know, and they listen, is like, this is not. So the person came about, they didn't even know about the Shroud of Turin. They call it
Uh-huh.
the Jesus cloth or something like that. And I told her
Yeah,
that's the Shroud of
this
Turin and
is
it has been
Islamic.
debunked. And she said, no, it's not the Shroud of Turin. This is. I said, no, it is the Shroud of Turin. I said, okay, is it the one where Jesus imprint is supposed to purported to be on? Oh yeah. I said that's the Shroud of Turin. And it has
Gosh.
been debunked. Scientists has debunked that it is a fake cloth. Then she claimed that they had the nails. She claimed they had the nails of that pierced Jesus, and from there they had Jesus's DNA. And I said, but wait, the way DNA works, if you're doing DNA comparison, you need something, a standard, you have to have a
You need a
person to
baseline to
measure it
compare it
again,
to.
baseline, the comparative. She didn't know that. So then we had to go into if you have she came with a murder suspect. I said yes, but if you have a murder suspect, if you have a DNA at crime where you have two sets of DNA, one belongs to the victim and the other unknown. The other unknown doesn't tell you specifically who's the suspect unless you have a suspect which when you take their DNA from them, then you make the comparison and it matches.
Yep.
Then she said, oh, so that's what you mean? I said, yes. I said, there's no Jesus there to compare with.
Soren says it's the Shroud of Soren.
Yeah,
You know,
the
Shroud
Shroud
of
of
Soren.
Turin.
it's like, well,
Oh, goodness.
actually, under one theory of the incarnation, right? If you took Romans 1 in a more literal interpretation that Jesus was made from the seed of David, if you had
Mm-hmm.
David's DNA,
Oh, yeah.
you could check and see
Oh,
if Jesus had at least half of David's
half of
chromosomes
the
from David's semen.
chromosomes. Correct.
There
Yeah.
you go.
But
That's
then the thing is, you see, you
beautiful.
don't even know because there says there's many people were crucified, mind you.
Yeah.
So how do you know that this is the nails that crucified Jesus? Because there's a lot of people come. The Roman Catholic Church claim to have the nails of Jesus, claim to have a piece of the wood, made all these claims, and that's how people went to pay to see these artifacts and so on, so-called quote unquote
The
artifacts,
relics, yeah.
the relics, right? And it is all a grand scheme to keep people in to say, oh, we have evidence, we have proof. And then you want to examine this so-called proof, they make it so difficult. They did, I think, the same thing with the Shroud of Turin,
It's up there
right?
with the
So
golden plates. I mean, like,
yeah, yeah,
oh,
oh yeah,
why
yeah,
can't
yeah,
I
yeah.
see
The
them?
Mormon
Well,
golden
so
plates.
holy,
Yeah, oh yeah. So the thing is, a lot of people get easily duped because of a lack of skepticism and they want to believe.
Yeah,
Hmm.
for sure.
Okay.
The
So
same thing with the Good Friday
We got
story
trailed off
thing.
there.
There,
let's
yeah,
let's
sorry.
let's, let's
Hmm.
quickly finish this one, right?
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
particular video I want us to get to. It's quite long, but just the
yeah,
first few 10 minutes has the best
yeah.
bits in it. Oh
Oh,
my goodness.
Oh, by the way, I've started doing this on my channel at playback speed at like 1.25 or
Okay.
1.5 to make sure you
Okay.
Right.
chat through their content, and also it lowers your chances of like any kind of copyright striking
Ah,
from
right.
because
Okay.
you're distorting
Ah,
the audio, right? Yeah.
right.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, because that's the reason why they took off my monetization for using other people's content, So anyway, never mind. Let's see. Let's finish this one and then we'll go to the next one.
To
Okay.
release mankind from the bondage of sin and death. Our modern calendar splits time at the approximate date of the birth of Jesus, who Christians believe is the promised Messiah. According to the New Testament, Jesus is born to a virgin named Mary, lives a sinless life, and then willingly sacrifices himself as the substitutionary atonement for the sins of mankind. The word atonement
A substitutionary atonement
So, man,
for the sins of mankind. So before the substitution, what was being used before that? The animals, right?
Mhm.
yeah, but even then, remember the sins of the people how they were gotten rid of
How?
in the Old Testament, the scapegoat, and scapegoat never
Well,
died.
actually, two goats.
Yeah. Oh yes, it was two.
Hmm. There's the
Yeah.
scapegoat and the offering, the sin offering goat, the sacrificed one.
So uh but mainly but yeah, and so what happened to the other so Jesus so what happened to the other son that God should have as the other scapegoat
So
to take
the two
the
goats are merged in the Christology, right? So the one,
yeah.
the Azazel goat, I think it's maybe that might be wrong about that, but the scapegoat concept, the one that gets released into the wild to take the sins far away, isn't used until the end of the book of Hebrews. The rest of the
Mm-hmm.
Christological ideas of sacrifice and atonement are only um, loosely connected to Yom Kippur, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
the sacrificial system is conflated into one central idea of atonement.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It's not broken
Mm-hmm.
down into let's fulfill this set of actions, let's fulfill that set of actions, right? It's all just kind of
Right.
bucketed, almost like the writers only had a rudimentary understanding, except for the book of Hebrews, had a rudimentary understanding of the sacrificial system as a whole, right? They just knew
Mm-hmm.
that lots of sacrifices got offered for sin, and so Jesus just needs to represent that core concept,
That core
not
concept.
necessarily
Mm-hmm.
all these functions of particular actions.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's finish this one and then get to the next one. Well, we won't play all of the next one. It's just Maya sends her regards. Oh, send my love to Maya, adorable woman. Let's see here. Where's my video? Okay, let's finish this. Atonement
Atonement
to sin.
is used to describe an act that pays for or erases one's sins and transgressions. 3 days later, Jesus defeats death by resurrecting from the dead to open heaven to those who believe in him and trust him for the forgiveness of their sins. The resurrected Christ appears to many people over a span of 40 days before he bodily ascends into heaven. From there, he rules and reigns with God the Father and sends the Holy Spirit to teach his followers. It is also maintained that one day Jesus will return to this earth to judge all humans, living and dead, and grant eternal life to those who put faith in him and eternal death
Mm.
for those who don't.
Hmm.
Christians call the message of Jesus Christ the gospel, meaning the good news. And that is Christianity.
She's missing the whole
The-
part where it is like a veiled threat.
I think one
and
thing you
also the part where Jesus is just going to be bathing in the blood of his enemies, like that part's
Oh
oh
my
yeah.
God, please.
That's in
Oh,
Revelations, right?
yeah,
Bathing in the blood
Revelation
of the
like
enemies,
19.
yeah. And you realize that Christians generally say, because of course they try to pull from all parts of the Bible to merge together to come up with theology. But Jesus said, did not say that people are condemned because of their sins. In John, he says they are condemned because they don't accept and believe on him. Right? And for the law, Christians, some Christians were asked, so what sends you to hell? They say your sins. But Jesus didn't say that. He said you are condemned, or they are condemned because they didn't believe, because of not believing on Jesus. Of course, some of the passages will say that it's the sins, the people that send them, but Jesus said is you not believing on him, not having faith in him to save you, that sends you to hell, not necessarily sins.
okay. So this other video, this particular one got me really. There's a few things were said here, but I've put it to 1.5. So yeah, if it's going
Wow.
too fast, please let me know. Okay. So just wanted to get you guys' um thoughts and opinions about this. It's crazy. It's going to get crazy in the next couple of minutes, okay?
Oh boy.
I think it might go too
Uh,
fast. Let me just
Yeah, if he's a fast talker, then 1.25 might be better.
yeah,
okay, let me put it to
yeah,
1.25.
1.25.
There we go.
Okay. So just give me 1 second. So guys, I'm on YouTube. So join me on YouTube, the Afro Atheist on YouTube. That's where we're streaming. So yes, join me over there. Okay, so let's do this. Right, here
You're
we go.
opening a door, and you might not be strong enough to close it, and then you have to call me.
Someone wrote into my show, said, Michael, if you could meet the devil.
Met him twice, personally.
How'd that go?
He's met the devil twice.
Not well the first time.
Not well the first time.
So the second one was fine.
Baudelaire said, the finest trick the devil ever played is to convince you that he does not exist. In recent days, however, he's been kind of flamboyant. Wouldn't you say? He's being a little more brazen about his existence. When you look at devil costumes at the Grammys, when you look at all sorts of weird Wiccan occult rituals on some of the biggest stages on Earth. And yet some people still don't believe it. We are joined today, very fortunately, by Father Dan Rehill, not only a Catholic priest, but the exorcist here in Nashville.
I am. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you for joining.
Oh gosh, Nashville.
People tend to like the political commentary that focuses on the day-by-day policy, and then the culture, and then even sometimes the spiritual stuff that underpins it. The most pushback I ever get is when I mention demons, when I mention things like the devil. People stop me, they say, Michael, now you're getting fantastical. Now you're getting crazy. You're talking about things that don't exist. But these things do exist.
They do. I mean, if you're a Christian, any Christian, and you follow the scriptures, we know there was a war in heaven, and Lucifer, the most brilliant and the most beautiful of the angels, rebelled because of the plan for the Son, the Word, to become flesh. And he was horrified.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Needy and Phil, please. How did Christians know about this war that went on in heaven?
All right. Their purport, right? I think it was the book of Daniel, Nidhi. It was the book of Daniel where that story is in about Lucifer cast down. Because
no, I think
but
it's
it wasn't
Ezekiel 14.
Ezekiel,
if I'm not mistaken. Hang on.
Right,
Ezekiel.
but the point is when you read the actual passage, you realize that it's not even talking about actual war.
Sorry, it's Isaiah
about
14.
earthly. Right, Isaiah.
Ezekiel 28. Yeah.
Right, and it's really talking about earthly. Earthly king, but an earthly person, and not this as Christians try to the tradition make it out to be that this is God thing cast down, and he should know better as a priest, but he's towing the line.
Well, so this is one thing that priests, pastors, teachers do often, right? It's that they have their narrative and their historic interpretation, and they represent that as the only valid and true way to read that text. And certainly it's been the interpretations of those being direct references to the Satan or Satan himself, some arch demon or arch opposition to God, is the fringe. It's not it's the majority in Christian circles, but it's not the majority.
It's not the
Jewish
majority
interpretation,
correct,
or secular interpretation
correct,
of those passages at all.
Because it's just and if you look at the Hebrew, you go through the Old Testament, you see there's a development in the concept of Satan, but it is not like we're in the New Testament, where to talk about demons and Satan as this big adversary, evil adversary. That's not how it's portrayed in the Old Testament. And over in my reading, looking at the Old Testament, I realized even the serpent in the garden, it wasn't called the devil. Later on, the New Testament, they say, oh, that old serpent, the devil. So Christians assume that the serpent in the story was the devil.
Even first century Jews even first century Jews interpreting the Genesis narrative, like Philo of Alexandria,
Right.
don't read the serpent at all as consequential or as a complete figure that is demonic or always
Right.
in opposition to God. In fact,
Correct.
the whole temptation narrative for Philo in a lot of his work evaluating it is more about like man's ability to fall to vices, to fall to it's all centered on man. It has a little to nothing to do with the creature itself or the idea of that also being a Satan. It's just not there.
Yeah.
Till much later.
That's why I said that they're towing the line. You know, because it is creating these traditions, you know, that these church fathers in some cases came up with. Even the original sin, Saint Augustine, he's the one who coined that term, you know, and a lot of what even the Protestants still hold is based from Catholic traditions, right? Even though they want to say they're different, it's still the same basis. So.
All right, let's hit us with more Satan and demons.
Oh yeah, as you're
Can't
muted.
hear you, Esther. Yeah.
It's going to get bad in a minute. Just
goody.
Oh goody.
Strap in, boys. Strap in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That God would lower himself to our nature. And so he said, I will not serve. And he was cast out with his minions, and they became the fallen angels, the demons, and they were cast down to earth. And soon thereafter, Eve encountered the serpent, and that was the beginning of our demise. So this is not mythical. This is fact. The devil is a real person, a person in the sense of having a will and an intellect. He's a spirit, but he's a person. And
evidence.
What you said is true, that he used to be very hidden and he used to be very subtle. And it should worry people that he's suddenly not worried about being seen, because that means it's what most people would deduct from that is that he realizes that his reign is coming to a close, and he's using everything he has now to try to drag as many people down with him so we can be miserable in hell too.
Now, what do you say to people who say, that's a nice story, Father, but I don't believe that the Bible is anything more than a collection of stories that have influenced the culture. I don't believe there was any such thing as Satan falling from heaven. I don't believe in Adam and Eve. I don't believe anyone bit the apple. I don't believe in original sin. I don't believe in the personification of evil. I don't believe in evil, period. I think we're basically just a bunch of meat sacks, and all of our conceptions of these things are just chemicals firing off in our brain, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Oh, well, yeah, you're a non-believer. So good luck. But that's it. If you don't believe, I can't make you believe. But that's your decision. And I would say you better really dig into what you believe a little more deeper before you make your final decision. Because think about the consequences. If you're right, no harm at the end of life. If you're wrong,
Pascal's
you spend eternity separated from God. That would be a lot to risk.
Pascal's wager.
So hang on. That means there are only two possible options when you die.
Options.
There are only two possible options when you die. You either get it right, and then you go to heaven.
Yeah, but
So that means if you choose
or no, he's basically saying if you choose right the thing, even if it's not true, right, you're not losing out. Basically, that's his baseline, which is called Pascal's wager.
Yeah, and actually, I found that this new channel.
Don't you need to have the right religion? Oh, I've got someone here.
That is now where. Hi, Marcus.
Hey, Marcus.
That is where he.
What's good?
They're in. Hi. What's up? Yeah.
What's good, everybody?
All right, Rob.
In the building, you know. What I mean?
Yeah.
Keep it going, man.
Yeah. So he what he's doing, as you correctly asked us. So what about the other religions which say if you don't believe in mine, you're going to my hell?
What the heck?
So if you don't believe, so you have to believe those to just be safe in case. So he runs into serious problems there with that sort of argument that he's trying to portray there. That Pascal's wager that don't get you anywhere.
Right.
Of course
Right.
not. Okay, so it gets worse. It's going to get bad
Oh
in a minute.
boy.
Get ready. Just get ready.
Or they call it the false dilemma.
Yeah.
You're right. The
Hey.
false dilemma.
How are you doing, Rob? You all right?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
we trending over here. You know that.
Trending. Hey.
The real Nordic Black is trending everywhere. You know that.
Okay. All right. Let's do this. Okay. So guys, strap.
Yeah,
Just,
I'll be here a short time though. I'm just messing with y'all.
yeah. Okay. Strap in. Okay. It gets bad. Right. Listen.
So just on basic common sense, it would be good to like do your research a little deeper before you come to the conclusion. Like, because I would say you don't believe, but do you really understand? Have you done any investigation into this? Have you read? Have you researched? Have you looked at? First of all, there's so many miracles in the church. Just the Eucharistic miracles. They can't figure out how they were done.
Hold on. There's so many miracles in the church. Eucharistic miracles. Guys, you need to listen to this. Listen to what a Eucharistic miracle is, right? Some of you might know what it is. Some of you may not. Right. So, but this Eucharistic, just listen to this guy. Talk about Eucharistic.
I was raised Catholic, so I know
Catholic community. The Lord will actually allow the appearance and the accidents, you would call them. Would be good to like do your research a little deeper before you come to the conclusion. Like, because I would say you don't believe, but do you really understand? Have you done any investigation into this? Have you read? Have you researched? Have you looked at? First of all, there's so many miracles in the church. Just the Eucharistic miracles. They baffle NASA. They can't figure out how they were done.
And for people who are not Catholic, a Eucharistic miracle.
A Eucharistic miracle would be in the course of a mass when the body and blood of Jesus is transfigured from bread and wine. Now, during the Mass, we can't see that, but we believe it. But on occasion, to bolster the faith of the Catholic community, the Lord will actually allow the appearance and the accidents, you would call them, to be changed into the body and blood as well, which means the host starts bleeding and dripping human blood, male blood, from a man of Middle Eastern descent. And the host becomes the flesh, the cardiac muscle of a heart that's been horribly beaten and assaulted. And still has white blood cells even weeks after it's being tested. That's not explainable.
Wait, guys, no.
So source.
No, wait. Let me. No, I need to tell you what on earth he's trying to say. So this Eucharistic miracle, right? When they go and have blood and wine, blood and
wine
blood
and
the flesh of Jesus,
and blood and flesh of Jesus, literally, magically.
God miraculously changes the bread and
into
the blood
the flesh.
into it. It then becomes a man from a Middle Eastern man, now transforms, and he starts to bleed. And that blood is what
Right.
He's saying that it actually happened. That it actually happened in some cases where the body was there and they went to test it. But where is that thing? Because if that is the case, scientists that will be a big thing in science.
Okay.
And he said NASA. He said NASA.
Yes.
I heard correctly.
Wait. Let me take it back so you can listen. Listen to this. Just listen to it again.
I found the news article that's relevant to this miracle.
Well, yeah.
By the way.
You did?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
what did you say?
All right, so this is a miracle.
Can you post the link in our private chat?
Or this is the closest I can find to this. So this was a 2008 story that got.
Oh, do you have a link? Wait, let me.
It's an NBC News coverage on this. So
yeah, he just.
I've heard this actually
chat
before from different Catholic channels about this miracle in particular. And while I was deconstructing my faith, I was like, "What the hell is this miracle?"
Which miracle are they talking about?
There's so
is the
there's
miracle so many so-called ones.
Yeah,
Mayo
Church? But this was
Mayo
in Poland.
Okay.
The Church of Sokolka. And the doctors were saying, they determined the spot on a Eucharistic wafer was heart tissue. And the authorities at the end of the article say they might look into a murder crime so that they can figure out how heart tissue would have gotten on a communion wafer. Okay, so let's get this straight, guys. The God of the universe needed to transfigure a particular communion wafer in Poland with just a fraction of heart tissue to prove that he is so the God of the universe.
Right.
Not what? Do every wafer, dude. Like all at once. Put the bloody heart everywhere, and then it's no denying. Like, whoa, holy shit! Ugh, this heart tastes really salty and like.
But Nidhi, you didn't realize in the article what it said? 2 medical doctors determined that the spot was heart tissue or muscle tissue. Church officials said.
Right.
So there was no independent verification then outside of the church come and say, oh, the doctors confirmed this. Give it to science community.
Right.
And let them do DNA. And then how, as you correctly said, there are other explanations for heart tissue being there.
Right. Yeah, and also NASA is not the type of science that would debunk that, right? Like you'd want a medical.
Yeah, because that's what had me like, what? NASA?
What does NASA got to do with this now?
Yeah,
NASA deals with space and science in space, not with that.
Right.
So he just made such a big blunder there to the point where you really saying that he's now speaking some bullshit. My bullshit meter thing started going, so hitting the right. I hit the right long thing, then he started. Jeez.
Okay, let me take you back to this gentleman and let's see. Okay, so can you guys see it? You can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, here we go. Let's hear that again. My goodness.
You're a non-believer. So good luck. But that's it. If you don't believe, I can't make you believe.
It doesn't take much for them to get approved by the church.
You tell really what you believe deeper before you make your final decision. Because think about the consequences.
Final decision.
Life, no harm at the end of life. If you're wrong, you spend eternity separated from God. That would be a lot to risk. Just on basic common sense.
No, an eternity separated from God. Give me that. I have.
I
want to be separated from that evil,
abusive,
that evil monster. Separate me from him. I don't want to see him. I don't want to have nothing to. Can you imagine?
Using fear.
It would be good to do your research a little deeper before you come to the conclusion. Like, I don't, because I would say you don't believe, but do you really understand? Have you done any investigation into this? Have you read? Have you researched? Have you looked at? First of all, there's so many miracles in the church. Just the Eucharistic miracles. Yep. They baffle NASA. They can't figure out how they were done.
And for people who are not.
So
they're in these lies. They're in these lies.
In the course of a mass, the body and blood of Jesus.
Lie right there.
Bold-faced life. Once he said that, clearly he just exposed his hand.
Right.
Guys, just listen to this.
Like you said,
listen to. You need to hear this. Oh,
appearance and the accidents, you would call them, to be changed into the body and blood as well, which means the host starts bleeding and dripping human blood, male blood, from a man of Middle Eastern descent, and the host becomes the flesh, the cardiac
muscle. Black. What are you talking about?
A heart that's been horribly beaten and assaulted, and still has white blood cells even weeks after it's being tested.
Wait,
that's
who knows?
Really?
So
really?
Wait, who knows the taste difference between Middle Eastern man blood and just
good point, man.
Yeah.
Right. Raccoon blood or like what?
Let's see. For those of you who don't know what this guy is talking about, just give me 1 second. I will find you a video, right?
Okay.
So you can see exactly what this Eucharistic thing is. Just let me show you what some people go and eat and drink in the name of eating Jesus's flesh and drinking his blood. Okay. Cannibals. So here we go. This is what he's describing. This here. Let me take that.
ജീവൻ തേടും പുണ്യം നീയാണല്ലോ സ്നേഹമേ മോക്ഷമേ ഭാഗ്യമേ
I want
So
my kids to do that.
So this person who's the host, the one who's preparing he's going to transform into a man from a Middle Eastern descent,
That looks
and
like what?
someone is going to start bleeding. Just, how did Christianity how did this religion
Yeah.
get to this point?
Right.
Because you have people that want to believe
Chris,
in these
Chris,
things
you ate a decent
So
heart.
bad.
so bad. Yeah.
Well, so transubstantiation, this like essential Catholic interpretation of the Eucharist, is like basically a 3rd plus century construction of, or well, actually later than that, in order to make the ritual distinct from the polytheistic bread and wine rituals that were in existence in the Mediterranean era. So one of the ways that you would initiate yourself into the various cults of the gods was to partake in different bread and or wine rituals with your community, to say that this imbibement of these materials initiates me into this community. It brings me closer to the deity I'm worshiping, right? And so they had to make that distinguished from all those others. And so how do you do that? Well, ours is special. Ours is the actual stuff. It's not representative of like any kind of sacrifice or, oh, she knocked us all back. Are we okay? We're still on the show.
Sorry, no. I didn't knock you back. I'm trying to make the
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's
trying to.
So
That's what I was trying to do.
But lots of Christians don't know that, right? Lots of people don't know that was part and parcel for cultic worship, and it was normal back then, right? It was normal for people to do these kinds of rituals.
Yeah.
And it seems bizarre to us as like skeptics and non-believers, but this is just this was the daily life of people, you know. It's like, I'm bored this weekend. What am I going to do? I'm going to hit the Dionysian temple and hit it up with my Dionysian club and bros. We're going to get smashed on the harder Roman wine, and we're going to eat all that bread, and we're going to have our party, right? Or the Bacchus cult, like that. That's what we're going to do, right? Oh, here's the Christ cult. What are they up to? Wow, they got some love feasts going on. All right, what's up? Like, right. Hitting another one.
Yeah, because it's a lot of what sometimes it was like that, and that was even going on before Christianity, even during the Hebrew times, the time the Hebrews are purported to be wrong, and that was the general motif across those areas, right? And for someone, remember, in the Old Testament, God said he is more powerful. He acknowledged that there are other gods, but he's the most powerful of all the gods. So a lot of the ritual stuff will be found in the Hebrew or the Christian practice to say, look, yeah, we got this here too, but ours is better. Ours is the real thing.
Yeah.
It's a matter of competition to say, look, my God is more powerful than yours. Basically, that sort of idea.
Right. Well, that one professor touched on it in her book, Stavra Pol.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce her name.
But the second and third century apologists, were doing exactly that. They said, yes, we know that this is a lot like Hercules. We know this is a lot like Hermes and all that other stuff.
Romulus.
But those are the doctrines of demons, my friends.
Oh yeah, demonize them. Yeah.
Is your mic up, Esther?
Yeah. She was speaking to TikTok.
That's what's up. I was like,
okay, everyone ready to go listen to the rest of it?
You can't put that into the manual classification of a psychological disorder. You'd have to say something's happening here. There might be something beyond what I believe.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe do your research a little more before you come to that conclusion.
Have you ever seen anyone levitate off?
I have.
Yeah, let's pause a minute. Pause a minute. He just said something is happening here, right? Yeah, let's pretend that something is happening there. How do you now link that to your God or to your Jesus? That's a big leap. Even if something is happening, how do you get from there, that happening, to say that it is your Jesus, it is your God? You still have not demonstrated that. And that's why I try to keep telling Christians, don't just give us anecdotes, because those don't work for invisible sky daddy or invisible thing. Because I could say it's my flying space monkeys.
We should say their anecdotes are, we should say, please don't anecdote.
Yeah, especially for things that require more energy, more evidence, deeper. Yeah. And they always make these jumps, even, so but he said that is like, come on, bro, you are making a big leap. Even if something we grant you that something did happen, to say that it's your Jesus or it's your God, you still have not made that, shown that connection.
No, you have.
In the first place, they didn't even prove that your God and that Jesus existed. Anyway, yeah.
They never put those in the same scrutiny as other things. It's ridiculous.
Sure they don't.
Okay, right. Let me continue.
Well, it's an interesting thing because in the Catholic Church in America, so the USCCB, that's our governing body of bishops, we're the only body of bishops that require, before we do the rite of exorcism, the person has to have both a physical checkup and a psychological exam. Psychological exam.
Oh gosh. Oh my God.
Can you imagine? Before you exorcise somebody, they have to have a physical checkup and what was it?
Yo, there's a new movie.
Psychological.
Did y'all heard about that new movie that's coming out? You're talking about Exorcism. I don't know if it just came out recently or they put the trailer out for it. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be talking about that. There's a movie like literally talking about exorcism. I forgot what big major Hollywood actor is in it. It's coming out. Have y'all heard about that?
No, I
no?
haven't.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Well, the other thing is,
it's about exorcism and stuff like that. Yeah.
But what's kind of funny about that is, like, so you're just gonna let this person suffer with demonic possession longer and have to wait through going through a medical process and wait around for a psychologist to see them? What the fuck, man? Screw all the evaluations. Go hit them with the power of Jesus.
Jesus. Right. Yeah.
Jesus wasn't like
purported.
Hey, you know what?
Russell Crowe, somebody said the Pope's exorcist. My bad. Yeah.
When Jesus was going around supposedly, casting demons out of people, he's like, hold on, John Peter, we got to go get Caiaphas over here. He's got to check this out and make sure it's a real demon before we get down to business. Fuck no. He was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Sorry about the language.
No,
that's allowed. Hey, that's allowed.
Here we're allowed. Listen, here.
As long as it's your authentic expression. You know
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We good.
Oh yeah. And when I really see red, you will see.
Oh, you don't want to see Phil when it feels like getting right into it.
No.
Beef is asking a question. So wait, who does the psych exam? A Catholic psychiatrist?
I suspect so.
I wouldn't know
of
who.
Course. I'm sure.
I don't believe that, actually. I don't believe it. Can you imagine you're about to exorcise somebody? They're already in distress. They're already in a bad way already. So you tell me you then take them to go and do a physical exam. That's a lie. I don't believe that.
Not a chance, yeah.
They're about $2,000. So, and we don't charge the victim because they're already suffering and they often don't have the resources. They've lost their home, their job, usually their wife, husband. But we require that because the law says that I have to have moral certitude that the devil is present. And to do that, we have to rule out psychological problems and all this. Okay. When I saw the man levitate off the couch, I had moral certitude that that's not a psychological condition. In all countries, the exorcist needs moral certitude.
So he saw a man levitate off a couch.
Was
I
there
wonder why.
evidence?
I wonder how these
This is
things.
getting more bizarre.
You only
Let me see.
hear these
Yeah.
anecdotal stories. You don't really see them. For some weird reason,
But
there's no evidence for any of
yeah,
these claims. But
you,
I guess
you know James Randi, the late James Randi, he
yes.
exposed a lot of that and
Right.
showed how you can appear to levitate. So these guys,
I wonder
yeah,
why not.
You know what's also
you know,
interesting is that the demonic behavior in these anecdotes is very rarely stated to be anything that's analogous to what's in the New Testament.
yeah,
Right? Why isn't the demon beating the absolute crap out of the priest like the demons did to the 7 sons of Sceva? Why isn't the demon breaking these like literal chains off their body? Why aren't the demons bleeding all over the priest because they've immolated themselves, right? Like where is it? Like no, they did some floating. They said some weird babbly words.
Oh,
That's
no.
about it.
121. Oh gosh, have you guys seen this
121.
comment by 121?
Yeah.
Says exorcism. That is what the priest calls it when he exposes himself on kids.
Yeah.
And he's using this term that a lot of Catholics use, moral certitude, for a reason.
Wow.
Meaning confident assent concerning human conduct based on people's normal and predictable responses to certain needs, abilities, and motivations. And it's in the Catholic dictionary. It's used specifically.
Sorry.
I levitate off my chair every hour for a snack.
Every hour for a snack.
Oh gosh.
You need
no, let me thinking about a snack.
Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, by the way, guys, this video is actually titled Michael the Exorcist. I saw her crawl up a wall. So at some point in this video, he's going to describe one of the people that they crawled up the wall.
Spider-Sin, got a little demon in.
Okay.
To perform exorcism, that there is presence of the demon. But like I said, in America, we have to do those 2 tests to rule out other things. So when I saw this young man levitate off the couch, well, there's my moral certitude that this is not a psychological problem, because that can't force someone to come out of the chair on their own. So that was when I didn't have to do that, the exam.
So I believe all of this. None of this surprises me. My view of the world is a Catholic view of the world. For people who might be skeptical, is it possible you just misperceived what was going on, or it was your mind playing tricks on you, or?
No. Period. And I'll tell you why. I don't work alone. I mean, that would be horribly imprudent to go into a situation when you're dealing with demons or the devil himself alone. So contrary to popular opinion in the movies we see about exorcisms, we never go alone at midnight during a thunderstorm to a strange person's house in the woods to do an exorcism. You know, sort of like this.
Wait, this is not the usual setting of, okay. Got it.
So I have a team. I always have other people with me. Often it's another priest. So we're all seeing the same thing, you know. They can speak languages that they've never known. They know things about you or other people in the room that they couldn't know. So these are the hallmarks of how we would determine, is this really a demon? Supernatural knowledge of things they could not know, languages they have not learned that they can speak fluently, and superhuman strength.
Really?
But also that's evidence of the
little,
Holy Spirit too.
None about it.
Right.
Oh yeah. Correct.
Speaking in unknown tongues.
And I know me and Esther and have heard many people speak in tongues in churches.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Alma, hey.
Yeah,
Mikey Famin, hey. Oh, I was going to say something just now. I forgot what it was. Oh, sugar. Oh, it's gone. I will.
Something about speaking in tongues or something like that? Or
no, it wasn't something about speaking. Anyway, never mind.
You see what Beach says? They speak other languages like Pentecostals do.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, if the speaking in tongues and these demons speaking in, listen,
Different
at
language.
this point
Yeah.
you don't know who is who. You don't know who is the Holy Spirit.
Correct.
You don't know who is the demon. Oh yes, now
Mm-hmm.
I remember the question I was going to ask. So this man talks about seeing the devil himself, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand, where does this, when the priests are doing what they do to little kids, where's the devil? Where is God?
Oh yeah.
Where are
Right.
all these spirit beings when these things happen? But when it comes to them, being in the position of doing this thing, what they call the exorcism, for some weird reason, all
Right.
these beings just magically appear.
Right.
But when they're most needed, when it is time for God to show up and rescue a little child from the clutches of a perverted priest, oh, he's missing in action.
Right. Right.
I won't mention the order. And when she was going through a deliverance, it took 6 large men my size to hold her down.
Well, there
And
you
that's,
go.
that's what I
That's
mean. It's
closer
not
to the New
possible that
Testament.
little girl could have that strength. So we look at these things as kind of the hallmarks of this is not normal. This is a supernatural thing. I've seen that same nun run up a 20-foot wall like a squirrel. And 2,000 people at a conference saw it too.
So why you didn't record it?
2,000
There's
people.
proof that that's not right.
Aha. This is like the 5,000 in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
500.
500. Yeah.
Hmm? Is it
The
500?
500 witnesses.
5,000?
It's 500.
Oh, 500.
500 witnesses.
This man said
Right.
2,000
And-
people witnessed what? Someone crawling.
Crawling up a
And
wall.
Soren Alexander,
Squirrel.
good. I like that he put the word moral certitude that he usually says nothing but the assertion of authority. This guy's saying the word like as if it's some sort of
So
yeah.
wait. Satan says, "Hey, Satan says, let's see a video of this stuff." Satan, when you find the video of this stuff, you think you can please let us know? Yes, please make sure to let us know when you find the video of this stuff. For some reason, the video of this stuff never seen. No one sees it.
Can we all agree that's not normal?
That's not normal.
That's not normal.
I've never seen that happen.
No. And it's scary when you see it because he likes to inflame fear in people's hearts.
When people, or I guess demons, are speaking this language, in having possessed these people, I'm assuming they're not speaking Swedish. What languages?
No, they typically pick up ancient
Good
languages or Hebrew or Aramaic or even Greek, and I don't speak those for the most part. So it's
So how
one that
you
has to
know?
be recorded.
So
but
how
can tell
you know
right
it
away,
says?
I know that that's definitely Hebrew or that's
Right.
this, and I'm like, has this
How-
person ever studied these languages? No. And in fact, sometimes they're maybe young, maybe 15, 16-year-olds who hasn't even gone through high school, and then or they can tell you things about yourself. So we always go to confession before we go into a deliverance. Because you never want them to, not that we're sinning, in these great ways, but
Yeah, you're sinning.
They go to confession before going to a deliverance.
No, but like I would like him
Really.
to like he didn't really. He's like skirting stuff because like they recorded the audio and then what they took the audio to a linguist or something like that. I mean, like he's just talking.
Yeah.
Shit. He's just babbling
Yeah.
He is.
right now.
He is.
He's
He
not
is.
really. Yeah. Like when the guy asked him what language are they speak, he said sometimes Aramaic, sometimes like you can't really give.
But
any
he's
concrete
not.
examples.
He does not know Aramaic. He does not know Greek.
Right. And he
So
didn't even say what type. Okay, so like a linguist, an Aramaic or a Hebrew.
Until a demon can speak Yoruba, until a demon can speak
right.
But you realize he said ancient languages.
You know what I'm
What
saying?
ancient language? What
Right.
ancient language?
Right.
Because going back before the Hebrew, they had long before other languages. So, but he's not speaking Hindi,
Right.
which is probably older than even that. Way older. Or Chinese. Come on.
Ancient languages.
So the ones in the demons in China will speak ancient Chinese then. Just saying.
you want no weapon leveraged against you.
You bring up confession, and I had this experience. It's taken me 32 years to figure out something that's probably pretty basic to confession. And confession is the sacrament where Catholics go into the box like you see in the movies, confess your sins on your knees before the priest, and the priest says, ego te absolvo, and you go out. And I was an atheist for 10 years. I reverted in my early 20s, and only recently I was walking out of confession, and I had this thought, which is, not only do I feel spiritually at peace here, but what's so striking is that I feel physically different. So I could understand feeling spiritually at peace as maybe there's just some psychological thing happening when I say these sins to the priest. But I would go into the confessional and I would feel racked by whatever, wrath, lust, gluttony, you go down the list. And I'd be shaking almost. I walk out of the confessional, that physical feeling is gone. And I said, how do you explain that? If confession is not what it says it is.
Well, it is, but even people who would agree what it is don't realize, like as human beings, we're spiritual persons incarnate.
That's similar to Godly Gaps fallacy. I can't explain it, so is this.
Right.
Can I ask you
good
guys?
point, Alma.
That's
Good
not
point,
an
Alma.
argument.
Can I ask? Okay, this is something I wouldn't understand. I don't understand. How do you go from being an atheist and then revert? How? What? Okay, for me, when I became an atheist, it just became clear that religion was man-made, not just Christianity, but all of them. It just something happened, and I could see religion for what it is.
It's usually the other way around. You're saying it's
So
rare. It's kind of rare.
I don't know. How can I then go back to believing in something that I'm now aware that this has been made up by somebody? I don't know. How do people?
I am wondering. Sometimes we know that some people come to or don't believe in any God. Sometimes for bad reasons, I will say, not necessarily logical thinking. And then some of those, there are some that just hold to that, there's no gods, but they believe that there's something spiritual.
Right.
Or some sort of believe in ghosts or these spirits and so on, but they don't believe that God exists. And sometimes I suspect that a lot of them can be easily duped back into, or duped into, into the religion aspect.
He said he went back to believing in his
early 20s. Yeah,
so
this strike me.
Here's what I would say is, like, I remember post college, that stage of life for me. I came from like a protective background, had lots of social issues, very easily lonely and type of person and stuff. And so I'm wondering, like, I'm not saying that this was his experience or whatever.
It's right.
But he got like the girlfriend or the social group that was very involved and very spiritual or religious, and their quick incorporation of him into their lives was just so intoxicating, right? And maybe too, not having been to like Catholic churches or services or things like that, when you're that age, not saying that you're naive, you're just fascinated and drawn to the mystery of the Catholic experience, right? Especially if you didn't really grow up in it, or people are really serious about it around you. It has its like alluring bite,
right?
Just like the cult did for me.
Yeah,
like, in my
it
early
is,
20s, it was precisely that.
There's
a lot going on in here and in the feels that you're like, oh, all these people like me and respect me and are giving me attention the more I do this stuff. So I'm in.
And that community and social support as well, and sense of purpose,
and that euphoric feeling that people. And I've heard persons who have never had cybacillin, but then they did some research. I think some scientists did, and they did an MRI of the brain. They realized the same center as religion, people with religious beliefs, that center of the brain, that same center is highlighted or activated when they take the psilocybin, mushroom, and other drugs. So
It's addictive.
stands for the addictive feel, right? They release those endorphins or whatever. You know, even when somebody even listen, that's the thing. Like gospel music, some gospel music have that, the
They
way the
straight up.
music is played, it
Yeah,
makes
straight up.
you
And
feel,
I
and they
exactly. And
play on that.
I admit it draws me sometimes, even to this day.
Yeah,
I'm an atheist, and when you hear some certain
yeah,
gospel, yeah, for sure,
yeah, and
definitely,
it's the music itself and the way they
right,
present the music that gives that
right,
feeling, and that same
right.
feeling, you know, and
And
even
also
now
some
as
people
they don't believe.
like he said, I think is that Nitty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like the cultural, the rich history and tradition. Some people weren't used to having that as well,
Right.
so they find that
Mhm.
fascinating. The rituals and stuff, you
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah.
that
Please,
weren't used to that.
can I
Because I
just
grew up both, so I get that. Yeah.
can I just ask, gentlemen, please put the links to your channel in the chat,
Oh,
Oh,
please.
yeah.
okay. Oh,
Um,
yeah.
please put the links to Needy. Make sure to do that again. Put your links, guys.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, these are the people that I have come across on my walk on my journey to being where I am today, right? On my journey to unbelief, lack of belief. In
Mm-hmm.
my everyday life, these are conversations I can't have with most people because most of them, they're all still religious. So
Right.
without this kind of platform,
Hmm.
I don't know. I would just be, very isolated in my lack of belief. And so
Mm,
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for these brothers. I'm thankful to all of you who have, we've crossed paths. Imagine if I
Yeah.
wasn't an imagine if I wasn't an atheist, we would not cross paths. I wouldn't know you, you wouldn't know me. This is not gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen at all.
right.
So listen, I thank God for atheism. How about that?
Mm.
Uh,
Speaking of
uh,
that, speaking of that, Esther, I was going to. I was thinking about you today because I gotta find this thing. I was gonna ask you, have you ever heard of this woman? She's I think her name is. She's a Nigerian atheist. She has a YouTube channel. She's starting to. She's up and coming. I'm telling you, she's from Nigeria.
mm-hmm.
Omo something.
Omo
Omo.
Igbo.
Yeah, yeah.
Omo Igbo, yes.
You heard? Oh, you had her on your channel.
I've reviewed her content on my
You've
channel, but
reviewed it, but you haven't had it on there, right?
no, we are friends
Okay,
on Clubhouse.
okay,
We've had
okay.
interaction.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
and
oh,
she knows that I reviewed some
okay,
of her
okay. No,
content, but
I was just bringing that up.
she's not doing any more content
Okay,
recently. I think she's
okay.
in a different stage in her life. But
Right,
yes,
right, right, right.
oh yes,
Okay,
Omo Igbo. Oh,
no
she's
doubt, no doubt.
Nigerian as well.
Right,
So
right.
yes. I can't seem to find Rob. Just drop a comment in the chat. Just drop a comment in the chat because you put your link and it's not showing up. So
It's not showing up.
just
Okay.
just say
Yeah,
hi or something in the
yeah,
chat
yeah.
so I can make sure to sort it out
Okay.
and we can
Mm-hmm.
continue this gosh.
Mine is
Oh,
showing
guys,
up.
for
Yeah.
someone who exercises people, he looks very well fed. He looks very well.
I hear you.
No, I'm
Very well
saying,
groomed. Very
Right,
well
exactly.
right, right.
groomed.
I mean, for someone who
Oh
does
my
all this
god.
exercising, and I mean,
It
look
doesn't
at
look like he's
him.
stressing too much,
This
right?
one
He's
doesn't look like someone who does any stressing at all. I think he just
right,
relaxes and just
right.
anyway. That's just what I think. Okay, right. Let's see. Let's continue.
In a body, right? And that's one person together. So what affects the spirit is going to affect the body. What affects the body affects the
Mhm.
spirit. And
Mhm.
when we amass sins, particularly if they're grave sins, over a long period of time, in particular, there are demons that hook into us and they harass us and they follow each other in packs. And
Why?
so fall off. It's like a snowball going down a hill. I just did this, and then I did that, and then I went to this sin, and then all of a sudden here I am, and I'm in a bad place. That's what they're doing. They're pushing you to keep going further into your sinfulness. And when the priest absolves the person in the confessional, not only is their soul wiped clean, but the demons are broken off the person. And so when you feel that levity, that lightness of leaving the confessional, so many people say to me, I feel like a weight's off my back. Yeah, because you've been set free. It's not just the sin, it's the demons attached to the sin.
I used to think that the type of scene you just described was merely a helpful metaphor for what goes on in our moral lives. It's a nice picture. Ah, yes, it's I mean, everybody, perfectly secular people, will say so-and-so had demons. Oh, he never got over his demons. But they mean it in this metaphorical sense.
They do.
And the longer I've lived, the more literally I view that kind of a scene. And even more so, the less of a distinction I see between the literal and the figurative.
Yeah, well, we also believe we have an angel assigned to us, a guardian angel.
Oh, God.
That angel has
Oh gosh.
We have angels assigned to us.
Assigned to us. I've heard all that.
I mean, also, I mean, Muslims do also as well. They believe that too. So I mean, the Catholics aren't the only ones that believe they have angels assigned to them or whatever. But like also what Nitty was saying, just a lot of people are attracted to the riches of the church. You know what I mean? Like the beauty, the art. You have to admit, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, some of the things. Yeah. But he's talking as if the angels are so unique. I mean,
the other thing, is like, since I've been going to counseling, right, and thinking about
me too,
my actions and
for that.
the way in which you understand your life as a person, right, in this kind of religious, scrupulous thinking of everything is a moral decision, everything has moral weight, baggage. You are your actions at every turn, right? But in a lot of modern psychology and counseling, that is not how you are to talk about yourself and grow as a person. You may have made a mistake. You may have caused harm to someone or yourself or whatever. But that action is not indicative of your entire character.
Right.
In most cases, right? And so it's what you do after that, right? It's how you feel, how you continue to act after that mistake or action. And then do you say, I am this, I am that? Maybe not even that, right? Especially if you want to change and you look at the rest of your life, right? This mistake, this desire, this feeling that you have, yes, you might not desire it now, and some people might call that evil, but look at the rest of your life, right? Do you work your job? Do you love your family? Do you give to strangers? Do you just act respectfully or empathetically to others? Then you're not all evil or all bad, right? So stop guilting yourself or viewing yourself in light of single actions or mistakes, and I bet you're going to get the same experience as confession. You're going to start saying, wow, I really hurt someone's feelings by being insensitive, but you know what? What matters is what I'm going to do next. What matters is how I'm going to understand what I did was harmful and then and work to change that, right? Or, take away this idea that this decision or action or thing you didn't want to do even is indicative of your whole self. As soon as you start doing that, you're going to feel a hell of a lot better.
Absolutely. I agree with you. At the same time, though, some of these Catholics, because like I told you, I was raised both non-denominational and Catholic. And, some of them believe in those sacraments so much that they believe that a lot of the other Christians, and not only atheists or other Christians, don't have those sacraments like communion or confession or baptism and things like that. Like they act like the other Christians don't really count, like, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. Could you please, Rob, could you please put your link in the chat again? Okay.
Again?
Hopefully it should, yeah, do it again. Hopefully it'll work now. Okay,
All right.
so that's
I had put his link in the chat.
Oh, you have? No, I want him to do it
The
again.
power, but the more you
he
acknowledge
can
the
do it
angel
again.
and ask for his help, the more power he can give you. So I tell people every morning, wake up, thank God for the new day, thank song of gratitude, and then turn to your angel and say, I appreciate your help today. And these are the things I struggle with. These are the appointments today I think are going to be difficult.
Okay, Angel. Apparently, I've got an angel standing right there. Angel. So what on earth is? Can you imagine? We are all assigned an angel. Does anyone know the name of my angel?
Angel. The name of your angel is Angel.
The name of my
The
angel.
name of your angel is Angel. Remember Buffy and
The
the
name-
Vamp? It was
The
Buffy
name
and the
of my
Vampire.
the name of my angel is
Buffy
Daddy.
Vampire Slayer. Oh!
The name of my angel is Daddy. That I've got a Daddy angel.
Right.
Here we go. All right, let's do this. Angel. So he said turn to when you're done praying to God, then you then turn to your angel. I don't know what you're supposed to say to your angel anyway.
The meetings I have. Can you be there and intercede for me through these things? You'd be surprised how different your day goes. And if you surrender to the day and not push for getting things your way, because we frequently think I have to have it this way, but then if you let it go and see what God's going to do, if you've given him permission over the day, he will wrap it up in a way so much more clean, neat, and tidy than you could ever imagine that you could.
Right. Yeah,
these are but you have to do it to test it, right? So some people say, I don't believe that, I'm not going to do it. Well, then you're going to miss out. We can only lead you to the water. So you have your angel, but then you have these demons.
Record the hits. He's saying record the hits. By any time you record the misses.
I don't have anything to say to that. This is
Right.
a strong case of the making
demons.
uppies.
Okay.
Their number one job is to get you to sin. When most
Right.
people talk about demons, they think of the Exorcist movie, the devil with the horns and the spear. He can appear that way, but 96-7% of his work is to tempt to sin and all of his minions. Because when we sin, we break away from God. And once we break away from God, then they can really go after us. It's like there's a pit bull with a 5-foot chain. It's like stepping in to the 3-foot mark. You're suddenly now in the zone, right? Then they can really attack you. So if they can get you to sin, then they can really have a field day and really ruin your life.
Fair.
Coming after you physically, like the supernatural effects of the devil. I call the sin is the natural. The targeting somebody through vexations or obsessions or oppressions or possession would be ways that we would say is the supernatural power of the devil to inflict harm on somebody.
What is the distinction between all of those tricks?
So obsession,
vexation and infestation is normal.
Like obsessive compulsive disorder is a thing. Like it's a neurological defect that people have to become obsessed.
Right.
It's not supernatural in any way, shape, or form.
Correct. Neither is depression.
Yeah.
And Esther, you said something. You brought up a good point about the angels. You know, when they say angels in the Bible decline to give their names to humans. They only gave out according to Catholics, they only gave out 3 names, Gabriel, Michael, and
Israel.
They don't have Angel Femi, Angel Ola, Angel Amina.
They have a multitude of angels, but they just don't give them.
Scripturally inconsistent. He said that once you step away from God, you can be more influenced by a demon, right? But there are biblical examples of people being demonically oppressed for life, right? From childhood onward. So what did a child really do to earn their status as possessed? Jack shit.
What of the cases where God is the one sending the demon? There's scriptures where God uses a demon to what was
David.
I don't remember what it was again now. It was where it was God that was using the demon to
inflict Saul.
Exactly.
King Saul.
No, King Saul, with torment.
Hang on. The question now is, who created these demons? What is the source of these demons, right? Because if the demons can do all these things, right, They came from somewhere.
Yeah.
So if God is the one who created the demons, could it be said that God is actually the one who is inflicting people and afflicting people? Could it be a God thing?
Well, everyone just deflects and say, yes, God started up the initial conditions, but it's the future intelligent agents that are responsible for their decisions. But the other implicit problem with that is if it's an omni God that they believe in that knows all things, then he already he knows powerful. And is equally responsible, right? So that's
yeah, and he's all powerful. F the omni, and he's all powerful.
Yeah.
But is he not powerful enough to stop those demons in the first place from getting to his creation?
Why create them? Why create them?
Right.
Why create the devil? Why create Lucifer? Why? I don't understand this.
I loved Vice Rhino does a great job of talking about the God's responsibility in these particular instances. So I'll have to find you one of the good videos that he has about this in particular.
Well, there's supposed to be fallen angels anyway, right?
Yeah. But if you're an omni God that knows ahead of time which angels will fall, then you're just as responsible.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wait. Yeah. Okay, so Rob would know the answer to this. Rob, yes, you would know.
So what?
Right?
So what?
You would know.
I'm not
so Rob,
at
okay, so these fallen angels, right?
Okay.
Can you please tell me who witnessed the fall of these angels from heaven?
Who witnessed the fallen angel from heaven?
The ones, the angels that were fallen, yes. The devil and the angels were thrown down from heaven. Can you please tell me what's the name of the person who witnessed?
I couldn't. No. Yeah. Anybody?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I don't know if there was. You talking about one of the humans?
Yes,
a human. John in Revelation.
Who is a human person that witnessed angels, Lucifer rising up against God, being thrown down to earth when there were no humans in existence? None at all. So how did these people know that God created the devil and Satan did whatever he did and he had to be thrown down to the earth? I want to know who that person is. I need to know. Because
it's all reinterpretation of passages that are tangentially related to what they postulate on top of them as Satan.
Because if
right, but are you aware of anywhere in the Bible where they say that somebody actually seen it though?
No.
That I'm not aware of.
Let me get to my next point. You'll understand why I'm asking this question. Right. If you can't produce the person who witnessed these events, right? Number one, if you do produce that person, we will have to figure out whether indeed it was a true claim or not, right? But then if you can't produce this person, guess what happens then? That means someone lied. Someone lied about the story of Satan rising up against God and that means that story is false. It's made up. And that means there is no devil, there is no serpent, there is no all these. It didn't happen. This is someone lying. Because there's nobody, even the story of creation, Adam and Eve, God in the beginning, God created. There was nobody there to see God doing any of these things. No, Moses wrote that book. So where did Moses get this claim from? Where did Moses, so Moses just lied to people and nobody.
Or like the movie with Noah. They're supposed to be the Nephilim or whatever.
Right.
They're supposedly fallen angels.
Yeah.
So,
No.
Yeah?
No. The Nephilim are not fallen. The Nephilim are the babies.
It means fallen ones. It means fallen ones.
Okay, no. This particular these Nephilim, they're the ones that just don't forget there were some angels that were horny up on the top there, right? They were up there and
Right,
got really horny. And so they
right.
wanted to come down.
I know they were offspring of sons. Yeah, they were the
They
offspring.
wanted to have a bit of the action. I don't know where Daddy went
Action.
to, where Daddy God went to when these angels were
You
getting
know?
horny and wanted to come down and sleep with this. Because they said the scripture says they looked down to earth and saw the girls, and they looked pretty, and they wanted to have a bit of the action. So they came down and started to. I wonder what the conversation would have been like between
Listen,
the
they got
angel.
to the action.
Huh?
They probably got to the action before Daddy did. So after Daddy got the first action with Eve, these here got action with a whole set. So he was kind of jealous,
Right.
Real jealous.
So anyway,
and took out his wrath on us, our people.
So I wonder what the conversation would have been like between the angels and the girls, right? So imagine these angels come down and they're like, "Hey, girl, can I? Do you want to have sex with me? I'm an angel, and I just want, I mean, I don't know how that conversation would have gone. And
Well,
very soon they start having babies. And because they start having babies, then now people are wicked on the earth. And guess what? Now daddy gets vexed now, right? Daddy didn't see the boys coming down. His angels coming down. He didn't see any of that. But the moment they start having babies and now everyone is wicked, and now God regrets making humans. So, but what about the angels? They instigated this. They came down from up there. What punishment did Daddy give them? None. He just killed everybody. Oh, never mind.
You want to do a fun thought experiment? When you said that, what would the conversation be like between the sons of God or whatever and the woman? I want you to find the first example of consensual sex between a man and a woman after Adam and Eve. Guess what? You're not going to find one.
Correct.
Okay, no, hang on. What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
Every instance in the whole genealogy of Genesis, I don't think there is a single act of obviously consensual sex between a man and a woman mentioned in the entirety of the text after Adam and Eve. Because Lamech treats his wives with complete indignation, right, in the genealogy. We don't know the sexual history of any of the men or boys up until Lamech. And then Noah has wives, but we don't know like how that's going.
In the biblical language, when they say he knew her, that's he.
It could mean anything, though. It just means.
But they take it. Well, I've minister tried to tell me. Yeah.
But then you get up to Abraham and Sarah, right? Abraham's got an arranged marriage with Sarah, and then whose decision is it for him to sleep with Hagar?
Right.
It's him and his wife's decision. It's not Hagar's decision.
Right. No, I agree.
Right. Yeah. And then after that, how do marriages go? Well, Isaac is put into a arranged marriage with his cousin.
Right. They did say that Hagar was a slave anyway, so obviously she doesn't.
Right, but then and then what about
Keturah? Was
Jacob and Rebecca? Right. Well, Jacob wants to marry Rebecca, but whose decision is it for him to marry Rebecca? It's Laban who gives surprise Leah the next morning, right? So Leah doesn't consent, and Jacob doesn't even consent to that marriage. And then he has to wait 7 more years to get the woman he wants as basically property and a bride to have the offspring he really wanted to have. And then you've got just more and more examples where the women are just thrown in whatever.
That's true. That's true. Very, very, very patriarchal.
You haven't talked about the big one.
Which one?
A wife that miraculously appeared in the land of Nod.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That
right there.
Yeah.
I was
that wife that just appeared from nowhere.
That story there is where what I struggled with as a kid when I was young, and I was trying to ask a minister that right there. How in the hell is this?
That Cain's wife.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Right, but there's no
then,
indication that she doesn't even get a name.
No, she doesn't.
Women don't get names.
But
so when you say what was the conversation like between the angels and women, who said they even got a choice?
But I've heard and I was told that the wife that Cain got and that was one of Eve's children, right? And but then that will be him
Incest.
marrying his sister, although Abraham married his sister, half sister. But then I used to ask the question, but then the Bible says that God does not like incest, or it's a sin against him. So why will he be using incest in the very first beginning?
I
if
guess
it is something he
Purple
doesn't
pointed out in the chat that there is an example of consensual sex. It would be Lot's daughters.
Oh no!
and
don't go.
And Tamar.
But
no. Not
Tamar,
but you remember that is not really. But you realize it has seduction in there. That is the woman seducing.
Well, getting her
which
father
is
drunk
still something
also not consensual.
Something not consensual, but it is more of a
manipulation,
trying to blame the woman.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
In all those cases, blaming the woman,
right?
Messed up. Yeah.
All the sexual relations in Genesis are totally, can we say, fucked up?
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Majorly fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, no, she's right. I mean, they get a bad rap. I mean, from the woman.
I'm just now realizing this, by the way. Your whole Nephilim question of consent just made me go, oh my gosh, the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I know. It's absolutely,
because women were seen as property.
Can you imagine, right? If you're a lady here, can you imagine being a woman in this particular scenario, being married to one of these people, right? Let's think about you're just expected to just give it to them anytime, and then they can have as many women as they want, because during that time it was just free for all. Have as many women as you want. I mean, look at one had 700 wives.
I
know Rob can manage 700. Rob can manage 700 wives.
No,
Rob can do it. Rob can do 700 wives and 300 concubines. Needy. What's your strength like? What's your not
that much stock, man.
Body count? No.
Huh? You capable?
Are you trying to ask him his body count? No, that's not.
No, I'm not asking body count. I want to know whether is Needy trying to apply to be the next wisest man on earth?
No. Not even close.
700. I mean, how do you begin?
Couldn't manage.
How do you service
700? How do you begin? No, for me, it is the idea that these women, right? So they would know that I'm a wife, but there's 699 of us.
Wow.
The king, what day would be my next
half day? It would be half day.
Then on top of 699 that I've got to contend with, then there are the 300.
Oh, the 300. Oh yeah.
I mean,
wow. No, I got it. Yes, I have it. I got it. It was not. It was a. What was beyond a threesome? What was beyond a threesome?
This would be a thousand some.
A thousand some. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A thousand some. Whoa.
But a thousand some. Yeah.
He will sure be drained.
So listen, that means what's his name? Solomon. Solomon's time here on earth was spent basically just that's it.
Yeah, really.
If he was
All he
used,
did.
He's
And he
pumping
probably would
dust
have
in
ended up
that
with
Holy
blue
Spirit.
balls.
right?
And he probably
If
ended
he
up with
was
blue
historically
balls.
real, yeah.
If he was,
So
yeah.
Solomon's
Which
nuts were
I
just
doubt.
shriveled raisins by the end of his
Right.
relationship.
Right.
I'ma say it's when did he had time to do anything else but to have sex?
Right. It's,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
hang on.
Okay, you can.
How does one have 1,000 women, but there are only 3 or 4 kids recorded to him?
Yeah. Yeah, and they had no condoms. They did not have any what you call it? No
There was only 3 or 4
family
kids
planning.
recorded to that guy, but he had 1,000
May-
women.
Maybe he
How
had a lower sperm count. He had a lower sperm count, so he needed a large sample size to get children.
Oh
It's
my
ridiculous.
It was God that
Oh,
So someone on Quora tried to do the math on this. They said if he had sex with only non-pregnant women and he did so twice a day for 6 days a week and rested on Sunday,
Damn.
or
but rested on Saturday.
he could have 12 women a week or about 50 women a month. That's 500 women every month, and we can even take the other 2 months of the year as time off. He could have 1,000 women in 2 years. That's some pretty generous math. Oh my god.
It just does not add
I
up.
mean, I guess those numbers, by the way, though,
exaggerated.
don't really, they're exaggerated, but they also don't quite account for the idea of, and I hate employing this in this situation, but that numbers in these texts that are like 3s, 7s, 40s, those numbers have like spiritual significance to them. Now, what that would be, I don't know. But I know that he reigned 40 years, and 40 is one of those perpetuous numbers that keeps appearing other
Those numbers
places.
are symbolic, aren't they?
What?
They're symbolic.
Yeah. Like 40 would be like a complete period or time to express something in their history or their cultural narrative, right? To explain their origins. And that's why it's used over and over and over again. But then the 300 and 700, you're lost on me. All I know is that 7 is the combination of 3 and 4, and that makes it important. I don't know anything else about that.
Well, they try to claim that he had a lot of those wives to secure treaties and alliances and things as such,
Sure,
and
not
necessarily.
There weren't that many kingdoms, though.
Right.
There's only like 6 or 7 neighboring, competing.
Right, and
in
tradition,
biblical history, that's history.
Right.
But in the tradition, it's claimed that he had children from Sheba, and that's how they got the black Israelites, the black Jews over in Ethiopia or something like that. I don't. That was something in tradition or something so.
Right, more in tradition and not necessarily.
Yeah, really true.
The evidence is not. It's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to take a little YouTube break before I do I'm going to do a 300 sub party, and I'll probably open up the room.
No worries.
No worries.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, guys. I love pontificating and talking with you guys. You guys are fantastic.
Great with you too.
Just so you know, I'm actually bringing this to a close soon. I've been here for 2 hours and 18 minutes. How time flies when you're having so much fun.
So much fun,
Time just flies when you're enjoying yourself. And so, yes, if you do go live, please put your link in the chat one more time. In case some people just join, guys. Put your links one more time in the chat. Please follow, please, and don't
forget to click and like Needy's
click and like
channel,
and subscribe.
I'll see you around, guys.
Phil, how many numbers are you at now, Phil? All right,
124.
You're
124.
124. Okay.
So
We need
I
to.
need a few to get to 200. Yeah,
Here we go. We're gonna
get
get
the
there very
200.
soon. We're
Yeah,
gonna
we
get
will
there.
get there.
So we'll
Yeah,
just watch a couple more minutes of this, and we'll be
yeah.
done of this levitating business,
Right.
levitating shenanigans.
Only things that happen in somebody's home or in their space. It doesn't have to be the home. It could be the office, wherever, the car, where the devil can manipulate, move things, create chaos, losing car keys constantly, the computer constantly.
What? Losing car keys constantly? Really?
Is that what he said?
What the fuck? Yes.
No, let me take you back. No, Rob,
All right.
Rob, you need to hear this. Rob, you need to hear this. You need to hear this. Oh my goodness.
Vexation, which sort of an infestation, is normally things that happen in somebody's home or in their space. It doesn't have to be the home. It could be the office, wherever, the car, where the devil can manipulate, move things, create chaos, losing car keys constantly, the computer constantly. Whenever I try to print a homily, it only jams for the homily, or it only jams when I'm printing out a prayer. That would be like, I'm like, oh yeah, so I have to take authority over this, to block it. And then it just goes right through.
Nah.
Nah,
Yeah,
that's like
it's all in his
like
head,
people.
dog.
Yeah, all in his head, because that's like I have heard someone who claims to be so spiritual, quote unquote,
right,
Christian spiritual, or whatever spiritual means. And they were washing the dishes.
Right.
Yeah, and they were washing dishes, and it was a Sunday morning. The dish slipped out of their hand onto the floor, and they're saying, "Oh, the devil trying to prevent me from getting to church." I heard it with my own ears.
Right. I've heard.
I heard it with my own ears.
Can you imagine losing your keys now? Do you now think there's a demon?
How common that is for
yeah, that's so common
for someone to misplace their keys. Exactly.
Wait, hang on. This man will be paid heavily to have this job, right? He'll be paid heavily, and here he is spewing this nonsense.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
and the evangelicals, the fundamentalist evangelical things does the same thing. I'm now watching this is no different.
Right.
Same rhetoric, and the person was a fundamentalist that I just told you about that dropped the things slide out of their hands. So, but all of them got that similar thing to try to say that these things are real because they believe in the demons and the devils and so on.
Right.
So they've come up with these silly antidotes that are just coincidence. Yeah.
Right.
You see, it's all explained. So the next time you all lose your keys or lose your sock,
the demons.
Yes, it's a demon. Huh? A demon.
The demons get blamed for everything. The devil gets blamed for everything.
Right. Yeah, and it's funny you say that too, Phil G. Like the devil gets blamed for everything, but then when you actually look into the Bible, how many deaths and things were actually, actually committed and caused,
Yeah. And the one that the devil's supposed to have done, it was God who commanded, who said, go ahead.
Right.
Chief cook and bottle washer said, go ahead.
Okay. All right, let's do this. Just one more minute.
But they can be bad. Like the Amityville Horror would be the worst example of a vexation of a home. And then you have the person himself. So an obsession, a spirit of obsession attacks the mind. And people who have this sort of attack, it's the most horrible attack. They can't think. They have voices screaming at them all day, screaming blasphemies, putting horrible thoughts in their head, visions of suicide. They can't sleep. So then they're even more in a bad way. They often will wind up in a mental hospital. But they're not. It's not a mental problem. It's a demon problem. And then oppression.
Guys, so this is where we start to have problems. This is where we start to have problems. It is not a mental problem. It is a demon problem. How do you work out what is a mental problem and what is this is where we start to have problems.
Yeah.
This is where religion starts to become very toxic. When someone needs medical care,
almost to the point where
it's almost like
problem. It's almost like unethical. You know what I'm saying?
But listen, you remember my story? I told you about the episode in college,
yes.
and I could not think, I could not speak. Well, he's describing there. I can't think, can't speak. So it was a demon. But prayer warriors came to prayer. Nothing happened. What helped me was
So none of the prayer warriors helped you.
No, I had to be taken to a secular psychiatrist, which realized that my brain was overtaxed and gave me medication. And after I took the medication, I slept so well. My brain was cleared. Fuck him. Gosh. This is getting me so peeved when they come with this sort of crap, disparaging people with mental issues.
No, I have a brother. See, and that hits home too for me because I have a brother that's schizophrenic. He has schizophrenia.
Wow.
And so for them to say that he has demons, and come on, man.
Oh my goodness.
Terrible.
And they don't get help.
And you know the worst part is these demons, it's God that created them. It's God that created. So what you're telling me is that your God created these
knowing
knowing that these beings can cause this kind of havoc.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that this God, I mean, God says that He created both good and evil. Right?
Yeah.
Could He have created a world where there was no evil? Could He have done that?
Of course, if He claims to be omnipotent and all powerful, definitely.
Right.
I know some of these demons, you can't blame the demons. You have to blame
the demons.
Them. Honestly, you can't blame the demons. You've got to blame the one who created. Can you imagine, guys? Let's just. For me, this is how I just think this is just. It's a mind fuck, right? Where you're praying to. So these people, in order to read these demons, they're praying to the one who created them, right? You're praying to
the one,
You're praying for help from the one who caused the problem to begin with.
In the first place.
I don't understand that.
God's ways aren't our ways. It's a mystery.
All right.
That's a mystery. Apologetic. It's a mystery. It's a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck.
Right.
It is
literally. That's what mystery is when it comes to this God. A mind fuck.
Like in the Catholic Church, this is the mystery
of faith. Oh yeah, the mystery. Oh yeah. And
this one minute of this, my goodness, I don't know how much of this I can take.
That could be through sickness, or in the worst cases I've seen, somebody who lives alone wakes up with bite marks all over the body.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Come on.
Could it be?
No. You can't.
I won't even finish.
You can't bite your own back, right?
Yeah.
I've not seen
a dog.
He is so convinced.
Right.
He's so convinced that he sees somebody who's got bite marks and it's demons. Come on, people.
Come
on.
What
is this?
Right.
So demons. Wait, Phil. Wait, let me understand something. That there are these spirit beings. They're very powerful. They can move from spirit world to this world. They can fly. They can, they got all these powers. What do? They come and bite.
That's true, Beach.
On the back.
Bite people on the back.
On the back.
Right.
Let me understand. What was that demon aiming to achieve by biting somebody on the back?
Yeah.
What was the goal? What was happening?
You need to get a rabies check, man.
Rabies shot. Angel rabies.
At least the oral sex demon was having a good time.
Right?
Was having the demon that comes to bite someone's back.
Right. No teeth. We want no teeth.
No, maybe it was sometimes when people give you a kiss, they would leave that red. A hick.
Yes,
A hickey. A hickey.
Yes.
Yeah, they were hickeys, but he's mistaken them for bugs. They were
Or it could have
hickeys.
been bed bugs, man.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, these people, I tell you.
There couldn't be a
no.
dog didn't sneak in the morning, lock the door when he left.
No. Or scratch marks. Or, in the worst cases, you see people who will vomit things that are odd, like frogs or nails. I've only seen that when I went to exorcism school. I haven't seen it firsthand. But this is all possible in the realm of evil because they can imitate the power of God, but it's short-lived and it's not as powerful. So then if these things escalate and they kind of meld together, it would lead to a full-on possession where the demon, usually Satan himself, would take possession of the body.
Yes, Alma.
People think they take the soul. You can't take the soul. You can't sell your soul.
There's a problem. Pause a minute. You see, sometimes have a problem with these here because for the number of people that they claim are possessed and that say that Satan possessed them. And let's say it happened around the same time. So Satan is omnipotent or present, I mean. Because that's one question when I used to hear about these demon possessions and that it's Satan. And they say, oh, I'm Satan, but you having a possession another place the same time, and they're saying it's Satan. So he's quickly moving back and forth. What was? So is he omnipotent then? Right? And they will claim his angels are not. So the contradiction, I mean, come on.
Right. Yo, Esther, I'm gonna post this on my Facebook while we're still live.
That's no worries.
Yeah.
Okay, let's. Oh, you've got a huge following on Facebook, haven't you, Rob?
Yeah, it's decent. Hey, won't you post it on your Facebook too, Phil G?
Yeah, that's what I am doing.
Yeah,
okay. All right.
I usually do.
You know why you can't sell your soul?
It doesn't belong.
You don't own it. You can't sell what you don't own. But he'll trick you into thinking that, and then that puts the person in despair.
So Robert Johnson, he's there at the Delta in Mississippi. He wants to be the best blues guitarist ever, and he sells his soul to the devil. At least that's what some album executive said decades later. Mm-hmm. He can't really sell his soul. Mm-hmm. So instead, it's just the person inviting the devil in to their body.
Yep. Okay. When you make a deal with the devil, it's an invitation, and he takes the invitation very seriously. He comes right in. One of the worst cases I've ever heard was from the Exorcism in New York City back about 15 years ago.
The problem.
He was telling me, well, it would have been longer than that, maybe 20, 25. There was a woman, a young girl at Juilliard, a violinist, and she was about to graduate. She was brilliantly talented, but all of her friends were getting job offers and she had none. And her friends remember always hearing her say the words, "I would do anything to be famous." Well, guess who's listening? Your angel's listening, but also there's other things in the room. And it wasn't long after that she went to bed one night, had a dream. And she said in the dream was the most beautiful man she'd ever seen naked, another sign, calling card of the devil. And he said, "Do you really want fame and power?" And she said, "I do." And he produced a contract and he took his finger and slashed her finger and had her sign it in her blood. And then he touched the contract and it burst into flames and the ashes fell on the floor.
Really?
So pretty easy to understand how, right?
You don't need an advanced literary.
Right.
You see the look on this guy's face. The look on this face here.
Right.
It's like, come on now, you're bullshitting me. This is bullshit. That's the look on his face.
Right. What is that guy? So this guy, he's a revert, right? They said, he said he's a revert. He was an atheist. Now he's a Catholic as well.
Christian Catholic.
Right.
But look at that look on his face. That look is like, come on, you're bullshit. This is bullshit.
Right.
Come on, just people make up stuff.
When you wake up from that dream and you remember it, you might take a pause and be like, I don't think that was a good thing. But what's worse is her finger was cut and the ashes were next to the bed.
Yeah, right.
So she still doesn't say anything.
Not to be the devil's advocate, but I guess to be the devil's advocate. Could this girl just have been nuts, making it up? Just
She could have been. But you have to hear the whole story. So within a couple of weeks, she signs this multinational tour, makes a ton of money, becomes very popular and famous.
Pause a minute. That is called the after this, therefore this.
Right.
Which a lot of Christians tend to use. Oh, I pray for this here happen, of course, ignoring the other times when it missed. Hence, my prayers cause this.
Right.
It's
That's
a fallacy.
A fallacy. Right. I forgot what it's called.
And that's, I forget what it's called. The after this fallacy or something. Like I'll call it the after this fallacy. So that's what he's doing there. Oh, so this happened in a dream. She has this, and then she becomes famous. A lot of people become famous without even doing that. Or some having done something and then they become famous. Right? That does not prove, that's not even evidence that it was the devil.
Right.
Okay, this. Let me tell you, these people
gets involved with drugs, goes to needles, gets HIV.
What?
Sorry, you're gonna say?
No,
sorry, someone. Wait. What's that about HIV?
Go back there because he said HIV. Go back.
What's that about HIV?
Right.
You don't need an advanced literary.
Right. So when you wake up from that dream and you remember it, you might take a pause and be like, I don't think that was a good thing. But what's worse is her finger was cut and the ashes were next to the bed. So she still doesn't say anything.
Not to be the devil's advocate, but I guess to be the devil's advocate. Could this girl just have been nuts, making it up? Just
she could have been.
She could have, yeah.
But you have to hear the whole story.
Okay.
So within a couple of weeks, she signs this multinational tour, makes a ton of money, becomes very popular and famous on this circuit. And within a few years, she gets involved with drugs, goes to needles, gets HIV. Now she's dying in a New York hospital. And this whole thing comes back to how this started. And she calls her Filipino mother and tells her the story.
Oh, gosh.
And mommy calls the chancery, hysterical. I need an exorcist right away for my daughter. So
oh, my gosh.
Jim is the exorcist. He shows up, and they tell him the whole story from the dream forward.
Pause
and
a minute.
He says, okay, well, that's...
Phil,
you just heard he said she called her Filipino mother. In the Philippines, they are very prone and primed for this sort of thing.
Exactly. I was thinking the same
so then once he said that, I said, it's all over.
I didn't want to say it. But yeah,
it's all
when
over.
When he said that, I was like, yeah.
They are primed for that sort of thinking.
Right.
And those sort of stories.
Right.
It's terrible, man. It's like, yes, you're gonna say that
superstitious beliefs.
No. I doubt they cured any
It's not good. You signed a blood covenant with the devil. So I'm going to need you to break that with a blood covenant. So you're going to write out the whole creed, and then you're going to sign it in your blood. Well, the doctor's like, she has AIDS. She's not signing anything in blood. Not going to happen. And he says, well, then you need to step out of the room because she needs to do this. And she did do it. And she signed the contract, the creed. And within a few seconds.
The creed, for those who don't know, is I believe in God, Father Almighty.
What we believe is as our faith. Yeah. The whole faith in a neat little package. And she signs it. And she convulses and flatlines and dies. So now the doctor comes back and he's really upset. The mother is out of her mind. They're all blaming the priest. Hysteria goes on for about 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden she jumps up off the table. Back.
Da Vinci Code.
And they test her.
Yeah.
No HIV, no AIDS. She's completely healed.
Yeah, right.
Guys, no, hold on, guys, please. I'm going to need to listen to that again, please. I'm so sorry. I need to get what the hell was that?
And mommy calls the chancery.
Wait, hold on. This story is.
And he said, "Do you really want fame and power?"
Wait, she's making it sound sensational. You know?
Yeah, it's sensationalization.
There was a woman, a young girl, Juilliard, a violinist, and
hang on. So she was a violinist. Okay, let's see.
Juilliard.
25. There was a woman, a young girl, Juilliard, a violinist, and she was about to graduate. She was brilliantly talented, but all of her friends were getting job offers and she had none. And her friends remember always hearing her say the words, "I would do anything to be famous." Well, guess who's listening? Your angel's listening, but also there's other things in the room. And it wasn't long after that she went to bed one night, had a dream, and she said in the dream was the most beautiful man she'd ever seen naked. Another sign calling card of the devil. And he said, "Do you really want?"
You like that part?
Huh? She said, "I do." And he produced.
No, I said you like that. You heard that part, huh?
Which one? What part? What did he say?
Go back 15
a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Juilliard, a violinist, and she was about to graduate. She was brilliantly talented, But all of her friends were getting job offers and she had none. And her friends, remember, always started hearing her say the words, "I would do anything to be famous." Well, guess who's listening? Your angel's listening, but also there's other things in the room. And it wasn't long after that she went to bed one night, had a dream. And she said in the dream was the most beautiful man she'd ever seen naked, another sign, calling card of the devil. And he said, "Do you really want fame and power?" She said, "I do." And he produced a contract and he took his finger and slashed her finger and had.
Why does this man have to be naked to sign a contract?
Don't
Bro.
know.
This man's imagination is wild.
Right.
And who knows?
Yeah, I think
this
he was
man's
saying
imagination. This person sitting here talking on. Listen.
I think he was saying that the woman was her desire.
I'm suspecting
was in her dream or whatever. Her desire. She was thinking about some naked man, so he automatically was the devil.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Soren said that this guy is utterly disgusting.
Whoa.
Listen, let me tell you, this is me, right? This is my I'm making an assumption here. I can clearly see this guy.
This is your theory.
I can clearly see this guy in his office, right? Phone in his hand and watching those high paid porn stars. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just having a great time watching. Because how do you have such a vivid? Anyway, I don't know.
I was just
What was that?
Wait, what's that? I'm hearing something. I just searched for the Juilliard thing and I'm not finding anything except people asking who is this girl. One person says is fictional. No one. It's a fictional story. I am not seeing anything because that will be big news. And the only reference to that is from what I see is this interview with this priest.
Right.
Okay. Let's hear the rest of this.
Had her sign it in her blood, and then he touched the contract and it burst into flames, and the ashes fell on the floor. So pretty easy to understand what happened, right?
You don't need an advanced literary.
Right. So when you wake up from that dream and you remember it, you might take a pause and be like, I don't think that was a good thing. But what's worse is her finger was cut and the ashes were next to the bed. So she still doesn't say anything.
Not to be the devil's advocate, but I guess to be the devil's advocate. Could this girl just have been nuts making it up?
She could have been.
Pause a minute.
You have to hear the whole story.
Okay.
There is a school called the Juilliard, I think, music school.
Right.
But not what he's describing there. Yeah, so there is a school named Juilliard, I think Juilliard Music School in New York or something like that teaches violin. But he seems to be making up story, so I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So within a couple of weeks, she signs this multinational tour, makes a ton of money, becomes very popular and famous on this circuit. And within a few years, she gets involved with drugs, goes to needles, gets HIV. Now she's dying in a New York hospital. And this whole thing comes back to how this started. And she calls her Filipino mother and tells her the story. And mommy calls the chancery, hysterical. I need an exorcist right away for my daughter. So Jim is the exorcist. He shows up and they tell him the whole story from the dream forward. And he says, okay, well, that's not good. You signed a blood covenant with the devil. So I'm going to need you to break that with the blood covenant. So you're going to write out the whole creed and then you're going to sign it in your blood. Well, the doctor's like, she has AIDS. She's not signing anything in blood. Not going to happen. And he says, well, then you need to step out of the room because she needs to do this. Wow. And she did do it. And she signed the contract, the creed.
Blood.
Within a few seconds.
The creed, for those who don't know, is I believe in God, the Father Almighty.
What we believe is as our faith.
Hey, Esther, I sent you a small short video on your WhatsApp.
Okay.
I think that would be a little. It's only like a couple of minutes. I almost posted it on my Facebook today. It's hilarious. It's this guy. I guess he's acting like he got the spirit or something. It's hilarious. Short video to review, just for a few minutes on here, to wake people up. It's hilarious. And I want y'all thoughts and see if y'all seen
you
it
sent
before.
it to WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's what I said. I sent it to your WhatsApp.
What's happened to my WhatsApp? My WhatsApp has disappeared from my phone.
I'll send it to Phil's.
Phil.
Yeah.
You can't find my WhatsApp on here.
And then he could probably put it in the thing. This right here.
Okay, let's finish this. I need to.
Yeah, it's a short.
I'm tired now. Actually, let's finish this story.
The whole faith, neat little package, and she signs it, and she convulses and flatlines, dies. So now the doctor comes back, and he's really upset. The mother is out of her mind. They're all blaming the priest. Hysteria goes on for about 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden she jumps up off the table. She's back. And they test her. No HIV, no AIDS. She's completely healed.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so she then committed for the rest of her life to only do music that would honor God and to tell people about the reality of the devil and not to make deals with him.
What's so crazy
Really?
about the story
Where is
is
it?
there are so many stories that I had not heard that story.
0 + 0
I'm
just
trying to think even if I
one.
Reading some of your writing, but wow.
Yeah,
You keep hearing that.
It's unbelievable.
I'm struck.
Right.
But then I think, well, there are all these miracles that have happened throughout history. And then what
really
hits me is, how do people not believe in the face of all of this? Even I was just at a conference on signs and wonders. So I was thinking of all these little coincidences, these improbable, perhaps naturally impossible things that everybody has experienced at some point in his or her life.
Yeah.
And when they strike you, you're so hit by them. And then 5 seconds later, you just go on with your life, and it's as though they never happened.
Yeah.
So then I'm actually less surprised that people could hear a story like that and not believe.
I think a third of the people, if you picked up a mountain and moved it over there, a third of the people will believe right away. A third of the people will say it never happened. It was always over there. Yeah. And a third of them will be confused. And I think that's just the way human nature pans out. I've been pretty blessed in my life. I've seen so many miracles. I mean, so many that I expect them now. I used to be a contemplative hermit.
He's just talking about himself, man.
The woods with a group of hermits for
how confused he is, man.
And when during that time, the Lord one day said to me, he said, the days are fast approaching when the extraordinary will seem ordinary.
No,
ordinary.
I'm sick and tired of this. I can put the link to. I'll put the link to this in the chat. Oh my goodness, it's 1 hour and 40 minutes. Can you imagine they're going on another hour and 40 minutes talking this stuff?
Exactly.
Let me tell you.
And the amount of lies.
Mm-hmm. Right. So put that little video that I sent you.
I'm trying to find. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah. And all right, I can do that too.
Yes?
I sent it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me
just type my name and it should come up.
It'll lively up.
Let me send it. I'll send it to myself, and then we'll be able to watch it here. No. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's get it. Let me go in my email and get it out.
I pasted it there in the private chat, so you should be able
to okay, in the private chat. Okay, let's No?
You're not seeing it?
In the private chat. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Private chat? Okay, in the private chats. Let's see here. Okay, right. Let me.
And then you got it. Yeah,
yes, I got it now. Yes.
you got to lower us or our pictures or whatever.
So okay, let's see. Our pictures. Let me. What I will do.
I will move it. I think we're on the side.
Away all together. Yeah, let's see. Okay.
So
take us off all together.
All right, family, check this out.
Oh goodness.
Oh goodness.
With the sound. There you go.
And I will tell you, if this demon leaves him, he will come out of this wheelchair. Amen. Come out.
Oh, come on.
Oh, gosh. Is this that guy?
Looks like that guy. That no,
Baby here? Yeah. Looks. I wonder if she was paid to do that.
Hey, they did an African exorcism right there, man.
Well. And in no time.
No, we need
well.
Oh, who was that? Prophet. What's his prophetess?
Okay. Just hold on to her.
And I will tell you, if this demon leaves him, he will come out.
This is an old man.
Wow.
Right.
He's at the later part of his life.
He's supposedly possessed by a demon.
Oh my! What kind of demon goes to possess a man who's old like this? What a waste of! Oh my! These demons. Let me tell you, these demons, they're very useless demons. So this man is old. Very soon will be close to his grave. Leave the man alone. What is this?
But he probably got paid to do that.
Most
so
definitely.
Money, yeah.
Look at his face. He can act his part. He's acting really good.
Yeah. Probably a whole actor. I was trying to see who it was. Prophet something.
Prophetess. Tarvian Tarver. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta check her out.
Wow. Oh my
God.
Boy. Anyway, everyone, thank my. This has been great.
Right.
Yeah, this has been. I enjoy this.
Nice to drop in on you guys.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah. What time is it where you are right now?
3 a.m.
I know it's late.
It's 3 a.m. Yeah. What is
it
it about?
It's
one your time, right?
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock current time.
Okay.
Are you one of these? Are you one of these that go to bed really, really late when it's not a school night?
I should have been in a little bit earlier, but you know what I'm saying. So I was up and then I was
come to hang.
Yeah.
Uncle Ruckus, he does look like
Uncle Ruckus, me? The guy, not me. He's talking about the guy. Yeah.
You're not man.
Yeah. The guy that. Yeah. Uncle Ruckus, that's hilarious. So.
Oh
boy.
Shani for Christ. Oh, Shani for Christ. Is she suffering? I haven't really been catching up with that. Those people. Anyway. Anyway, guys, please don't forget on your way out to hit the thumbs up. If you would like to, I'll put my link. If you would like to make a donation, a contribution to the channel. Never mind, these people took off my what do you call it now? My
They shadow banning you?
No, monetization.
They took off the monetization.
Yeah.
Because of they said I'm using people's content. I need to transform the content. Yes.
Got you.
That's the link there. If anyone would like to make a donation, a contribution, it goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it goes a long way, especially raising a 13-year-old disabled child. Life. Every little helps,
Right.
Of course, yeah.
Make sure you hit the notification bell,
the
like on this channel, and then you go creep onto the Caribbean secularist Phil G's channel.
No, Needy said he was going live. Needy said he was going live.
Around 10 Eastern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he has a 300 subscriber party or something like that.
Party, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Nice.
And don't forget to go to my channel, The Real Nordic Black. Get me up to 1,000. I'm close. And not
Have
too
you
close,
have you
but I'm
put your
900.
link?
I'm
Have you put your
900.
link? Put the link one more time. Put the
I'll
link.
put the link
Phil,
on there one
put
more
the
time.
link one more time. Let's do this. Let's get
Yeah,
this
yeah.
gentleman
Put
up.
my link in there for me, man, because it might kick me out. But yeah, go to the Real Nordic Black. Click
Oh,
on
but let me
subscribe.
tell you,
If you
the
don't
real
like
Nordic,
one of the videos, you'll like one of.
the real Nordic Black. You have some real great guests on your show.
Yeah.
On your channel, some really great guests. Oh wow!
Right.
Where do you get them from? Where do you find these people?
No, I just try to do some research and try to contact them. You know, basically the people that I find that are interesting, or I think the people who's gonna enjoy. You know, that's gonna benefit everybody. So I just do it like that.
Interesting. And you don't just talk only about religion. You don't only talk about religion.
Exactly. I was about
to
say
racism,
wide
range.
Yeah, that was the thing I was gonna say. So I don't just talk about religion at all. So this, and I had to brush up on some of because although I'm an atheist, you know, it wasn't my main cup of tea. So I'm mainly into kind of racism history, also African civilizations and all kinds of issues and stuff like other issues that I haven't interviewed them yet, but I'm in the process. I haven't touched on feminism yet. I want to.
That's something I would love to.
I want to touch on that in a sense where they are talking about like there's a lady that written a book called White Tears, Brown Scars, and she talks about how white feminism kind of they forgot about black women, you know what I mean, and the history behind that and things like that. So, and I also want to bring on some guests that are that's been asking that are homosexual, and they say that they said that they want to talk about how racism in homosexuality in their words, they said sometimes it's worse than heterosexuals. Racist, and it's a group of black people, African American, and so they want to talk about it, chop it up. So I'm trying to hit up something different that most people aren't. They're always hearing this, right, and so I want to hit up some different type of conversations, stuff like that. Just let it do what it do. That's
Please,
it.
guys, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the great content.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Everyone, thank you all so much, and make sure to like on your way out. And good night, everyone. I'll see you again. Phil, when are we doing our show? We'll
sometime. We'll sort that out. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right then, everyone. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Bye.